Control yourself.
Oh, we are.
My name's...
I thought you were just messing with me.
No.
By the way, got to add real quick.
Can I do the intro?
No, I think you're looking fantastic. Everyone, is you looking fantastic? You losing weight?
I am losing weight. I am.
Right.
Are you being sarcastic or no?
No, I think you look fantastic.
Thank you. It's really coming together nicely.
Holy shit.
See that bruise?
Thing. Yeah, I did see that. Uh-oh.
That's jiu-jitsu, man. My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. Jacob and I are going to break down the entire UFC Vegas 60 Sandhagen vs. Song fight card. We're going to give you our picks, predictions, our bets, and our fantasy plays. But become a premium member. Premium membership is only $10 a month. It includes every single bet we place, including exclusive ones only for members. It includes all of our raw notes, betting tools, all of our picks. And here's a fun fact, Jacob.
I'm ready.
If premium members bet on every single bet, both mine and yours, every single week, they'd be up money. They'd be up money.
And, fun fact for you, if you bet on my lock of the week and double down every single week, you would be on an island somewhere with the hottest girl you've ever seen in your life, sipping on martinis, margaritas,
I gotta get
and
to
you
the
never
intro.
see a day of work again. Lock of the week, 10 in a row.
$10 a month premium membership. That is only $2.50 a week, and it now includes a DraftKings optimizer for the same price. You guys have heard me rant and rave. I will never raise that $10 price point, ever. My goal is to make this the best $10 value in MMA, period, end of story. All our bets, all our picks, all our fantasy rankings, DraftKings ownership, a DraftKings optimizer. It now links with Discord. So there's a premium channel on Discord only for premium members. So when we post bets, we just do them right there. You get the alert right to your phone. You don't even have to log in to premium membership if you don't want to. And here's a couple of reviews. People are starting to tag us in their winnings. This is from UFC 279. This is like 4 of 50 that we got. Dave Broom said, "You guys are world class. Almost about time to double my unit size." And that is what you start to do when you have success. You work your way up, you start to increase your unit size and go from there. You don't just bet more units, you just bet larger units. Matthew Nunnery said, "Last night was lit in DraftKings. Almost got to the top spot. Shout out to We Want Picks and Jacob's Lock of the Week." Elias Pachero said he bet on the premium parlay. We have a parlay only for premium members. He said he made $3,000 off of that. So, well, shit, man, that was $10 well spent. And then
That's
Mike
like 60 years of memberships.
It pays for itself.
That's going to be memberships for his kids.
Mike at Real Battle Sauce said he spent $2.8 thousand to win $11.3 thousand, all because of us. And that is Cornholio. So, guys, thanks for tagging us in these. Continue to do it. Still, we are doing the D-Rod
the winner. Right, he did win.
He won his fight.
Coming off his big win.
The D-Rod signed poster giveaway. We're still doing that. We're going to do it next week when there's no fights. That's when we're actually going to do the giveaway. So this is only for premium members. We're just trying to make it as amazing as possible. So if you're a premium member, we ask that you like the stream, you comment on it. The reality is the only thing you need to do to qualify for this is just be a premium member. We're going to go through. I'll use one of those online random picker tools, and it'll pick one of you, and you will win this poster. Thank you very much for Jesse Correa for donating this. I know. It's the Italian in me. And then finally, if you want $50 for free, WeWantPicks.com/bets. Sign up, make a deposit. I'll send you $50 as a thank you. That's WeWantPicks.com/bets.
Whoa.
Sign up, make a deposit. $50. And if we go back to the giveaway, our buddy Jesse, friend of the channel, couldn't be a better human being, said he's going to add a rookie card as well. Jesse has an incredible collection of UFC cards. He's going to throw in a rookie card. So premium members, all you have to do is be a premium member to qualify. It's freaking $2.50 a week. You just watched all the things I rattled through. One decent week pays for 10 months, 10 years of membership. WeWantPicks.com. At the top, click Become a Member. It's at WeWantPicks.com. Let's break these fights down. They're probably
also we got D. I don't know if you saw D. Became a member for 5 months. Love the show. Appreciate all the work you put in. Angelo and Jacob, you know my guy. Been behind your picks. We appreciate you, D. I didn't love that Angelo's ahead of my name in there, but we'll take it.
I think people realize that this is sort of my thing, and you're here to
tag along. Yeah, I'm pitcher's helper is what it is.
There you go. Fetty Crocker, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Look at a cool little graphic. How the hell you do that? Oh, that's
from
you're
Twitch.
coming
That's
from
why.
Twitch. That's right. Okay. Let's go ahead and jump right in. Opening up UFC Vegas 60, we have Nikolas Motta taking on Cameron VanCamp. Nikolas Motta, 12-4 overall, 3-2 in his last 5, and he is coming off the KO loss to Jim Miller 5 months ago. Cameron VanCamp is 15-6 overall, 4-1 in his last 5, and he's coming off that KO loss to Andre Fiallo 2 months ago. And Nikolas Motta is a very good striker. He's explosive, he's athletic, he moves well, he's got solid speed and diversity with his strikes. He does have solid takedown defense, and that is important because if he is taken down, he really doesn't have much to offer on the ground. He does a really good job of being patient, like in those striking exchanges, and then he will pour it on when he sees an opportunity. He is coming off that upset loss to Jim Miller, where he was KO'd, and not many people expected that. Cameron VanCamp is pretty much a wild brawler, but he has proven himself to be a capable grappler. He's a lightweight who occasionally jumps up to welterweight, but I think he paid that price and learned that lesson in his last fight. Cameron's definitely a finisher, though. He's got 10 wins by submission and 4 by KO or TKO, and he was supposed to make his UFC debut on short notice against Nikolas Motta back in September, and now we're going to get another crack at it. Listen, Cameron was knocked out 2 months ago by Andre Fiallo, but in the 2 minutes leading up to that knockout, he actually looked pretty decent, right? He didn't look miserable. He was able to touch Fiallo, who we now know was a bit inflated, but he looked okay in that. And this is another fight where, and you're going to hear this for this whole card. I think these odds are wide. This whole card has really wide odds. This is another one.
They're closing. It was plus, I think he was plus 190 open. He's at plus 167 now.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is closer to a pick'em. I am going to favor Motta here. I do think Motta can get it done because I think he's just the better striker, right? Cameron's going to come in. He's wild. He's loose. But Motta is the actual better striker. So hopefully he's learned his lesson from getting clipped by Jim Miller. Nice tight guard and can just pick apart Cameron, touch him up. I mean, Cameron is kill or be killed. So he can certainly be stopped. So the pick is definitely Motta. But Cameron VanCamp is a very live underdog. Before I go to you, Jakey boy, we have a $10 super chat from Raider Big Al. You dudes are now my favorite show. I've been doing this for a while. And Jake the Freckled Snake, you really mix and mash a couple nicknames there. His current run is amazing. That run is amazing. It's I don't know why I said that like I'm a radio host. It is an amazing run. If you don't know, Jacob
is amazing.
Well, let me take my shirt off, look like an 8-year-old, and do the show like that. Jacob has picked 10 underdogs in a row. 10. Calls it his lock of the week. This one's going to be a little interesting this week, but thank you very much for that super chat. Very appreciated. Jakey boy, what do you think about this fight?
No, we appreciate that $9.99 and all the people in the chat right now. Make sure you like the stream. First of all, if you guys are watching this on the video in the live stream right now, you guys want to support the channel, like the stream. That's the easiest way to support the channel. But as far as this fight goes, listen, I'm very biased in this matchup. I have a friend that trains with Cameron VanCamp. By the way, my friend is fantastic. I mean, his name is Angelo also, and he's the best Angelo fighter I have ever seen in my life. He just turned pro, won his pro debut, but he trains with Cameron VanCamp. When Cameron VanCamp was about to fight Fiallo, I asked him about him. And I said, what's this guy's deal? Is he a grappler? Is he a wrestler? Because I thought that was going to be the path to Fiallo. And he said, listen, very, very capable grappler, but to be honest with you, the guy just loves to fight, man. He's very capable on the ground, being Cameron VanCamp, but the guy is just absolutely a fighter's fighter. He loves to go in there and brawl, and you saw that against Fiallo, right? He came, was not scared, went toe-to-toe with this dude, UFC debut, short notice, and hurt Fiallo too. I mean, he put hands on him and had him hurt, chased the finish, got a little bit too aggressive, but how can you really blame him in that situation, making your UFC debut, and you almost get the finish? I don't blame him for chasing it. That's what happens when you fight Fiallo. You hurt him, and then he hurts you until his last fight, obviously, but listen, Fiallo in this matchup, this is a great matchup for him, and I'm so glad that he was able to get a full camp and be back down at 155 because this is more natural weight class where his length and power really is able to shine in this matchup. Now, Nikolas Motta is also a very dynamic striker, and I agree with Angelo. Probably the more technical striker in this matchup, but I think this is iron meets iron. I immediately took the under 1.5 on this matchup because I think these boys meet in the middle and just start swanging and banging, and I like Cameron VanCamp's tenacity, length, and power and finishing ability in those situations. So I'm going with the underdog here. I'm biased. If you want to tell me it is what it is, but he is an Indiana boy. I'm an Indiana guy, and he's going to show how Indiana tough he is. And
he's the boy, but you're the guy?
Motto. 100%, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, he's 6'2". Yeah, I'm 6'3". I'm 180. He's 155.
I bet. Absolutely. Yeah, Jacob's huge. Okay, so we're split on the pick here, but you are biased. And this is another fight. We talked about this in the past.
I'm biased, but not like super biased.
Sure.
I mean, I really do. Even
It's
if
not
I'm
like when I break down Parker Porter fights. So
right, or if I break down, I mean, he's not a man of Hebos. I tell you that.
we talked about this in the past, and we got 14 fights to get through, so I should not be derailing. But we've talked about this in the past. There are times where Jacob and I's picks are different, but the insight is the same. And just now is a good example. Our insight was essentially the same. We see each other's side. It's close. That's why it's important to listen. I know you guys love fast forwarding to the pick. It's important to listen because that stuff matters. DraftKings, 9,300 to 69. I think Motta wins. And historically, right, if you beat Cameron VanCamp, you have stopped him. So historically, he's worth the 9,300. I just do think Cameron's pretty live in this fight. So I'm probably not going to spend that 9,300 on Motta. But honestly, if he wins, he'll be worth it because that's what happens when you beat Cameron VanCamp.
Yeah, I think he's live with the hands, but also the caveat here is maybe he wants to really kind of signify his UFC run and comes in and does wrestle. Maybe he comes in and starts shooting takedowns, and maybe he just tries to take it easy. And I think in that regard, he even has an advantage there. So I think there's two paths for him. I may play the value at $6,900 for Cameron, honestly. I think it's pretty good value.
Honestly, he probably is a decent underdog value play. It's a weird card,
yeah,
though.
I just said that.
It's not like UFC 279 where there's a couple of stupid expensive people that were worth it. You knew Kamzat was going to win, right? You knew he was worth that money.
You knew Almeida was
yeah, you knew Almeida was it. We don't have that on this card.
You knew Dennis Tululin was going to win. I mean, we all
you don't
knew
necessarily
Dennis
need a
Tululin.
$6,900 fighter, but we get it. Yeah, no Monkey Knife Fight line. That will be up later this week. And if you guys want $50, WeWantPicks.com/bets. Sign up, make a deposit. We'll send you $50. And don't forget to become a premium member. All of our bets are up there right now. And as we place new ones, not only will we put them up there instantly, we will also throw them into the premium Discord. Discord is free, but we have one single channel dedicated to premium members. It automatically syncs with your account. And you can set up alerts to your phone from there. WeOnPicks.com. At the top, click Become a Member. And I agree. People bitching about, listen, we've been Tuesdays for years.
And it is what it is. I mean, we probably have more live viewers, but I mean, the views are still there. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, we can't.
So we do. I mean, we do apologize for the people that want to watch both, but it's not like this goes away. You can still watch it. You just won't be live with us. And honestly, if you gave me the choice between watching myself and watching the Contender Series, I'm watching myself 10 out of 10 times, Angelo.
Yeah, I hear you. Next up. At UFC Vegas 60, we have Tony Gravely taking on Javid Basharat. Tony Gravely, 23-7 overall. He is 4-1 in his last 5, and he is coming off that quick knockout win over Johnny Munoz. And anybody who thought Johnny Munoz had a shot in hell in winning that fight is an absolute buffoon with an innie for a penis. Javid Basharat is 12-0 overall, and he is coming off the first decision win of his career. Tony Gravely, we all know, right? He's a dominant wrestler. He loves to come forward. He's got volume, power, and then he transitions to that wrestling. So he can work in that old school ground and pound type style that he's got going on there. He's very strong, and he does use it well for the takedowns and damage. His big issue, though, is that he can gas, and he's got questionable submission defense. He averages almost 7 takedowns per fight, which is just a freaking ridiculous number. And there's just no secrets to what this dude wants to do. He's coming off that knockout over Johnny Munoz. He really didn't need his wrestling in that at all. And he was able to showcase the power in his hands. Javid Basharat is a grappler who has incredible offensive and defensive wrestling. He has absolutely no problems with a kickboxing match either. And he could be a problem in this division. And if you just, to nail that point home, let's just look at his 2 UFC fights. In the first one against Oran Kalan, he had 3 takedowns and an eventual submission, right? Very grappling heavy. In his last fight against Trevin Jones, 0 takedowns, 0 takedown attempts, and he just won a clear kickboxing match. So Javid is the real deal. And it is an interesting matchup between 2 guys that are both grapplers at heart. Tony Gravely, absolutely the more aggressive wrestler between the two. He's going to shoot more often, and he's going to try to work for those takedowns, but he does have cardio issues. Javid's the more well-rounded fighter, and he can use his wrestling offensively or defensively. He's going to be the much more technical striker as well, but he's not going to have that same raw power that Gravely does. The odds have tightened. It was Javid was a 2-1 favorite the other day. He's now tightened up to -150. I understand it. He did show a little bit of poor fight IQ in his last fight, right? He did win a clear striking decision, but there were times where he probably should have grappled just to lock that round in and be sure, and he just chose not to. So I do like Javid here. Ultimately, I think he's going to get the win, but there's a world where Gravely pressures forward, gets the takedown, and goes from there. I mean, I've mentioned this a million times. It is easier to finish a takedown than it is to defend one. It's just that simple. So Tony Gravely is just going to start diving at legs. It's very, very possible that even though he's not technically the better wrestler, he can win this match with his wrestling. So I'm on Javid here, though. I do like Javid. I'm pretty confident in that, but, anytime you have somebody like a Tony Gravely who's going to be diving at legs for 15 minutes, that is certainly a possibility. What do you think, Jicky boy?
Yeah, I mean, that's the perfect kind of a description of Tony Gravely. He is one of those grapplers that is going to stick to a game plan. A lot of times we talk about these grapplers, if they wrestle, they will win. If they wrestle, they will win. Then they come out and they don't wrestle. It's like, why didn't you wrestle? Tony Gravely is a guy every time he's going to come into this fight, he is going to wrestle nonstop. I mean, and the question for this fight is he able to get the takedowns? I agree with you 100%, especially if he's able to get a takedown early. We saw, as you mentioned, with Javid with his gas tank, if he's able to get a takedown early, I think he could actually control this fight and maybe even get this guy out of here with this ground and pound, because Tony Gravely is also one of those guys that doesn't just hold you down. He really tries to chase those finishes and ground and pound people on the ground. Now that Johnny Munoz Jr. fight, that knockout, he showed off his power. That was like a little 1-inch punch. I don't know what the hell that was. That was very embarrassing. Johnny Munoz Jr. was my lock of the week. Not my last loss, but close to one of my last losses. My last loss was JP Bays 11 weeks ago. I mean, that was nearly a quarter century ago. It's crazy to even say that out loud, but anyway, back to this fight. Yeah, it's going to come down to whether Tony Gravely is able to get the takedowns. And honestly, when I looked at this matchup, when I broke it down in my notes on my Twitter, when I broke it down on Sundays, when I saw it was a 2-1, I thought, that's a little crazy. 2-1 seems a little bit crazy for the type of wrestler and controlling type wrestler that Tony Gravely is. Because if he gets a hold of you and gets you on the ground, you're probably not going to get up. And he is susceptible to submissions. And I know a lot of people are kind of looking at this matchup and seeing Javid with submission wins as well. That's why I picked Johnny Munoz Jr. over Tony Gravely. I was like, oh, he's going to get the submission. But a lot of Tony Gravely's submissions are when he's hurt. He'll get hurt, and then he tries to dive, get desperate, dive for a takedown, and then he gets submitted. You saw that in his last match, or not the Johnny Munoz, but another matchup before that. He was in a lot of guillotines, and when he's not hurt, he has no issues getting out of those guillotines. So I wouldn't chase like a sub prop here just because you see stuff. I tried to do that. Didn't work. Wouldn't recommend it. But yeah, I think this is Javid's fight to lose. I love his footwork. He's in and out in the striking. Should have a major advantage in the striking as far as the technical striking goes. Keep it standing. Do your thing. And if you maybe want to throw in an offensive takedown to try and throw Tony off, I don't hate that as well. So I'm going Javid. I didn't love the 2-1, but the minus 150 looks a little bit more appetizing to me.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there. And what's interesting about this is you mentioned that if Tony can get a takedown early, he can hold him down. I actually disagree with that. The reason he averages almost 7 takedowns per fight is because he can't hold people down. You're only averaging 3 takedowns a fight if you can hold somebody down. And he's averaging 7. That means people are getting up 6 times. So I don't think he can hold Javid down. Obviously, if he gets early takedowns, he can have success. Some of those people were
really good wrestlers. Not really good wrestlers, but Simon
Oliveira,
Oliveira,
so is Javid.
Scrambles. Anthony Burchek, former lock of the week. A long time ago, no longer in the UFC.
Yeah, everybody forgets that phase of Jacob's life. Anyway,
we actually it got so bad with lock of the week, we started turning into love of the week, and I was just picking a girl every week and saying it was my love of the week. You guys weren't. A lot of people are here for the last 10 weeks, but this has been going on for a year and 8 months now.
Well, overall, you're still way up, but you hit a rough patch there to the point where that $50 giveaway, where Jacob, if the lock loses. Yeah, the $50 giveaway was the other way around. It was, if the lock hits, we'll give you $50. And then he lost a few in a row, and I was like, let's flip it. Let's give people money if the lock loses. Yeah, it did save me quite a few bucks.
Well, anyway, 10 times 50, that's like $50,000 we would have had to pay out.
This is an interesting DraftKings slate because I think they're both perfectly priced. I think they're both worth it. I think Tony Gravely at $7,600. That dude averages 6 takedowns, 7 takedowns. I mean, if he gets his way, he's going to score 1 million points. Javid at $8,600, he is very good. He's 12-0 for a reason. And as I mentioned, we've watched him absolutely destroy people on his feet, absolutely destroy people with his wrestling. We've seen him do everything. So, I think they're both a solid value. What do you think?
I think Gravely is probably the better value, to be honest with you. I don't know if I trust Javid.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you with that, but I think Javid's the overall better.
But are you listening?
I'm not listening. I heard the mumbles. I just think I may spend that $8,600 on Javid. And if you guys want to spend $10, you should spend it on premium membership. It is only $10 a month. You get all of our picks, all of our bets, our raw notes, DraftKings rankings, DraftKings ownerships, points projections, a DraftKings optimizer, and now giveaways. All you need to do is go to WeWantPicks.com and at the top, click Become a Member. It's $10 a month. $10 a month. All these people. Oh, Jacob made me a fortune. Oh, I'm up $2 million. All you people should be I know a bunch of you are premium members, and I screenshot that, but any of you who are not, $10 a month, I will literally never touch that price point.
If you're not a premium member, you are absolutely dead to me.
100%. Get out of his DMs. And premium members that are watching this.
Not some of you. Some of you can stay in my DMs. You know who you
okay.
are.
And if
you know who you are.
If you're a premium member who's watching this, go to your account page and vote on the next feature that you want. The leading one right now is confidence picks. So all of our picks, but with confidence next to it. We're working that. But vote, and then whatever the top vote is, we'll implement it. We'll do that every month. WeWantPicks.com. At the top, click Become a Member. And thank you, J&G. Very appreciated. I mean, we have almost 1,000 members. We gain more than we lose every single day. We do lose a few every day because, I mean, payment processing just canceled. Payment processing just fails. The cards expire, they cancel, and then a few days later it comes back up. But it's growing well, and it's working. So we appreciate all of you that are doing it. And those of you who that are not, you are missing out on the best value in MMA. Next up, at UFC Vegas 60, we have Mariya Agapova taking on Gillian Anderson. Mariya Agapova is 10-3 overall, 3-2 in her last 5, and she is coming off that loss to Marina Moroz. Gillian Robertson is 10-7 overall, 2-3 in her last 5, and she's coming off that loss to JJ Aldrich. Mariya Agapova has a fun come forward striking style. She's got high volume, high pressure, and she just throws caution to the wind at times. Once she settles in and she just stops chasing that knockout, she's got solid boxing with clean combinations, and she does have some actual power. She's got pretty good ground game as well, but just okay takedowns and pretty bad takedown defense. She is coming off that loss to Marina Moroz where she was just completely big-sistered. Gillian Robertson is a well-rounded fighter, but primarily a wrestler in the cage. She's not had an easy road, though. If you look at her UFC record, her four most recent losses were to JJ Aldrich, who's very good, Miranda Maravic, who's very good, Tyler Santos, who's very good, Macy Barber, who's pretty good, and Gillian averages more than 2 takedowns per fight, and I think that's important in this matchup. She's coming off that loss to JJ where her striking actually looked pretty good, but her takedowns were not. At one point, she did have JJ's back, but she just took her legs out. It made no sense. Hooks came out, and she just sort of gave that up. But this is a tricky fight to pick because both women can strike and grapple. Neither one of them are like completely dominant at one thing, right? It's not like Gillian's this savage wrestler who takes everybody down. But I am going to go with Gillian here. She's going to have that same game plan as Marina Moroz. Come in, be the big sister, bully her, take her down, beat her up. So I like Gillian Robertson here. I originally did not have bets on this fight, but I may end up with some just because I think it's just such a pretty clear path. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, have you ever heard of copy pasta? Do you know what copy pasta is?
No, Jacob.
Oh, I think it's like a Twitch thing, but it's usually a live chat thing. It's when people just copy and paste like a certain thing, and then everyone starts spamming it. There's a they call it copy pasta for whatever reason. That's exactly what Gillian needs to do with that Moroz fight. It's just copy and paste. You didn't think I was gonna bring it back, but
I was just waiting for some stupid.
Some stupid. Well, that's exactly what Gillian needs to do. Just copy and paste that game plan. Get in her face, get nasty, get us to the ground. Because if you saw that fight against Moroz Agapova, once she got to the ground, zero sense of urgency to get back to her feet. I mean, just absolutely zero off her back. Was able to survive to get to the second round, but when you watch that second round start, it was like she just absolutely gave up, wasn't interested. Moroz closed the gap again, easily took her down, and then was able to finish a fight. She just wanted the hell out of there. Gillian Robertson is one of those people, as you mentioned, has fought some good people. I think she's actually pretty, and I think this is a perfect matchup for her because Agapova will always lose to somebody that can out wrestle and out tough her, and Gillian is exactly that person. I agree. Gillian's not like a dominant wrestler shooting double. She's not Sara McMann coming in here just like absolutely just dominating. But if she gets you in the clinch and she gets you down, she can control women very, very well on the ground. She's very, very underrated as a grappler as a whole, not just wrestler, but in the jiu-jitsu, the control, the scrambles, everything. I think she comes in, is able to get those body locks, gets a trip, gets her Agapova on her back, and almost dominates this matchup. I'm very anti-bet on female fighters, and I saw this. I even as I tweeted on it Sunday when I saw the minus 145 odds. I'm like, I feel like that's pretty good value for Gillian. I didn't bet that strictly, but I did put in a female parlay into our premium members. By the way, if you guys want to become a premium member, it is only $10 a month. Go to WeWantPicks.com, become a premium member. You get all our early bets, DraftKings, yada yada. You get all this booties, and you will get the. I mean, it's the best value you've ever seen in your life. We got all our bets up there already. I'm going to Gillian.
All right, appreciate you. It's better when you're the promo guy because people definitely like you more than me. So I'll let you do the promo then if that's what it takes. So we're on the same side here. DraftKings 7,785. I think Gillian is great value at $8,500. If she big sisters, takedowns, control, potential stoppage. I think $8,500 is a great price point. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds stupid. I mean, this is gonna hurt me when she does win, but I don't see how Agapova wins this fight. Like, I don't think she knocks her out. I think it's a nasty grappling affair, and maybe there's some wild submission. But Gillian's a person that fights the best of best and doesn't get finished. She just doesn't get finished.
Yeah, Gillian definitely has a bad rap, but again, that's why I sort of dug into look at her for UFC losses. They're quality losses,
decision losses. She's not dominated. I mean, a little bit, but I mean. She's not
correct.
Yeah, she's not getting.
Every single one of those women
She's a tough girl. Yeah.
Yeah, every single one of those losses is to a quality
and Agapova has shown in her last fight she is not tough.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
when the tough gets tough is
sure.
tough, the tough. Sometimes people leave and don't get going when the tough is tough. You know what I mean?
Fool me once, shame on me. This is our first Monkey Knife Fight breakdown. This is the first one we have a line for. If you don't know what Monkey Knife Fight is, it's daily fantasy. All you need to do is say more or less on the strike line. You could triple your money. If you're correct, go to weonpicks.com/MKF. They will instantly match your deposit. What do you think of this? I think it's a less-more situation because there's going to be a bunch of takedowns.
I think it's a less. I really think that Gillian gets her down early. Agapova's in big trouble.
You think she's getting the stoppage here?
I think that she can easily find a submission win in the first round.
Yeah, I'm positive it's less on the Agapova side. The Gillian one, I think she could pound away on top. But less is a solid play. If you guys know what you want to do, we on
both these are
MKF.
ATT girls, right? Or Agapova left? I think Agapova.
I don't know. I mean, she's Ukrainian, right? And I know there was some stuff going on there. And
she's not Ukrainian. Moroz was the Ukrainian.
Oh, that's right. It was reversed. That's right.
Yeah, Moroz came in and was like, she was very motivated. You could tell. She was very motivated.
Yeah, that's right. Now I knew there was a theme to it. I get
it. Yeah. Moroz was like, she had that look in her eye. I was like, oh shit. And I think they knew each other. I think they had like conflict too, Agapova and Moroz.
Next up at UFC Vegas 60, we have Trey Ogden taking on Daniel Zellhuber. Trey Ogden is 15-5 overall, 3-2 in his last 5, and he is coming off a split decision loss to Jordan Leavitt. Daniel Zellhuber is 12-0 overall, and he has 9 stoppage wins. Trey Ogden is an athletic grappler. He's got solid takedowns, decent power in his hands. And he absolutely is a grappler, but if you run through his tape, you'll see that even if he wins by submission, he doesn't always use his wrestling to get there. He will drop you and then pounce. So his striking does set up the submissions. And his takedowns are really well timed when he uses them, and he does an excellent job of lowering his level, shooting blast doubles right at his opponents. He is coming off that loss to Jordan Leavitt. It was close. He looked decent, but he did start to gas. Daniel Zellhuber is an impressive striker with a very aggressive and dynamic style. He has incredibly long limbs, and he uses those for power, range, and leverage in the grappling exchanges. And despite his long legs, he's got solid takedown defense, and he does a very good job kneeing and striking his way out of those exchanges. If he's taken down, he's just wrapping his opponents up and using his length to threaten with submissions. And that whole Contender Series fade thing, I don't believe in it. I think it's nonsense. I do fully recognize that a lot of these fighters in their first official UFC fight, right, they can freeze up. The moment can be a little big for them. I don't think that's going to happen here. Daniel is like very impressive. He uses his length really well. He does some serious damage too. I think Daniel does whatever he wants to on his feet. And if he is taken down, I think he should be okay. But I'd rather not see him on the ground. I like Daniel to get the win here. I do have a money line bet on him. What do you think, Jacob?
Yeah, I think this kid Daniel is the real deal. And Angelo, you know how I love my Mexicans. And he showed in that Contender Series fight about Mexican toughness, because that guy was blitzed from the start, kept his cool, fought back, and was able to win that fight. And his striking is absolutely dynamic. This kid is going to be an absolute problem. Because, how old is he? He's 23 years old, and his striking is already as sharp as it is. He's only gonna find more power as he grows into that grown man body. And listen, this match, I saw that face. You got a problem with grown men? With grown men bodies?
He's
not a little boy. We're not breaking down middle school wrestling matches. Once this boy becomes a man, I tell you, Angelo. Trey Ogden.
Why not, Bert, upload one of your wrestling matches? We'll break it down.
Yeah, we'll break it down. We'll do a live reaction. That'll be a lot of fun.
Nothing like youth wrestling. Go ahead.
Yeah, those singlets. And now I'm on a list. Trey Ogden's a very, very well-versed wrestler and grappler. You saw that versus Jordan Levitt. Even when he was taken down, he was able to reverse positions and was able to put Jordan Levitt in a very, very tight guillotine. And Jordan Levitt's one of those guys that's a very, very good that's what he's known for. He was able to reverse and get Jordan into bad situations. The problem for Trey is he's one of those grapplers, as we mentioned. We just talked about oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. Who's the wrestler we just broke down that we said always wrestles?
Gillian.
Gravely. Yeah, Tony Gravely. Tony Gravely will wrestle no matter what. Trey Ogden is one of those wrestlers that necessarily won't wrestle. He likes to strike. And against a guy like Daniel, you're in big, big trouble. I know that Trey Ogden is 15-5. I don't think he's ever been knocked out before, but I keep saying it. Just because you've never been knocked out doesn't mean you can't get knocked out. And I think Daniel finds that knockout shot in this matchup. I worry a little bit with the odds because of the grappling prowess of Trey. But I think Daniel can handle it. I think he's a real deal Mexican tough. He's going to come in here and get the finish.
Yeah, I think we're on the same page there. My bet, I got it. Premium members saw my moneyline bet. I got it at minus 230. That's now flexed up to minus 270, and that's why it is important to become a premium member. You can get ahead of that curve. You can get some closing line value when you get these bets early. And to help the premium memberships know when we've uploaded content, we have linked premium membership to Discord. So now all you need to do is log into premium membership, click the link Discord, and the very second that we post anything, you'll get an alert on your phone. It's been posted, bets are up, whatever it is, ownership. We'll put it all there as well, and you'll get that alert on your phone instantly. And that's going to be great for live betting because Jacob does a good amount of live betting, and he hangs out in the Discord, so that should be solid. You can type some of that stuff there.
I'm always in the Discord. If you guys want to talk, me and EO are always arguing in the Discord.
Okay. $6,800 and $9,400. Daniel Zellhuber is one of my most confident picks on this card. I will spend that $9,400. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely.
Jakey Boy agrees. If you want $50, all you need to do is go to wewantpicks.com/bets, sign up, make a deposit with any one of our betting partners, and I will send you $50 as a thank you. That's real.
It is funny. He does kind of look like Ryan Garcia, and his nickname is the Golden Boy, which I think is Ryan Garcia's nickname too.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
That's every day.
Tengo el gato los pantalones.
Okay. Next up, at UFC Vegas 60, we have Loma Lookboonmee taking on Denise Gomes.
You want to do what to me?
6-3 overall, 3-2 in her last 5, coming off the loss to Lupita Godinez. Denise Gomes is 6-1 overall, 5-0 in her last 5, and she is stepping up on short notice after a Contender Series win just a few weeks ago. Loma Lookboonmee is a Muay Thai striker with very good volume and deceiving power. And I say deceiving power because she's tiny. She's undersized for this division, and this is 115 pounds.
I disagree.
She has shown that she can be more than just a striker, though. She out-wrestled Sam. Yeah, she out-wrestled Sam Hughes in that win. She had 4 takedowns, and even took Lupita Godinez down, who's like a beast grappler at this weight class outside of her last fight. And while her takedowns have improved, if she gets taken down, she's not really great on the ground, but her submission defense is solid. She got a 68% takedown defense, but she does get taken down in pretty much all of her fights. Denise Gomes is a tough striker who can grapple as well. She can be hittable, but is incredibly tough and never out of a fight. She's going to continue to come forward, bite down, and just bomb away. It takes her a few minutes to get going, but once she's dialed in, she picks up that pace and has no problem taking one to give one. She works in kicks as well and can be dangerous on the ground. You will see stoppages on her record, but it's not just like raw power, one-punch power. It's just literally grit and pressure. She breaks people. And I'm going to go with Loma Lookboonmee here. She's proven to us that she can be a dangerous technical striker as well as an effective grappler. The only losses we've seen for her are when she was pushed around and she was out-grappled, and I don't see that happening here. So I see Loma winning the striking exchanges, and then she can work in takedowns if she wants to. This is another one where I thought that line was pretty wide, but it's starting to tighten a bit. She's now a minus 235 favorite. Did they drop the takedown prop bet here? Because that's what I was waiting for. I think that's a solid bet for Loma.
Minus 325.
That's not going to happen. What do you think of this fight?
I love Loma, whatever you want to pronounce her name, not only in this matchup, but as a fighter overall, because she has worlds and worlds of Muay Thai experience, and you could tell when she's in the octagon, because her striking is so precise, and what she is adding to her games as well, because she's already got that. She doesn't need to work on that anymore. So now she's starting to add in the wrestling, the trips, the judo, because when you mix in the Muay Thai, which that close and the grip, the Muay Thai ties up and everything, and you start mixing in the trips and the judo and the wrestling with it, which you saw even in that Loopy fight. In the first takedown that Loopy tried to get, she tossed Loopy to the ground and ended up on top, and Loopy is one of the best wrestlers in the division. It was like, holy shit. Even though Loopy had her little thing, I mean, we all know about. But, I think this is a very, very, very tall task for Denise. And I couldn't actually believe that the odds even tightened. I thought they would get even wider. I think she was at minus 270. I threw her in a parlay at minus 270. I might put a money line bet on her if they keep dropping the way they're dropping, because I think they're minus like 230 something now. Because Loma should be better everywhere in this match, unless it's like just a straight jiu-jitsu match. But her striking is going to be intense. As you mentioned, the way to beat Loma is with pace, pressure, and really, really get in her face. But at the same time, now you're in her range. Now you're in that Muay Thai range, and that's when all the strikes, the elbows, the knees, everything comes into effect. So if you're Denise, you got to try and pressure and land shots, but even landing clean shots on her is tough too. So I unfortunately for Denise, I know she's tough and she's coming in short notice. I think this is a very, very tall task to beat Loma in this matchup. I think Loma, the more that she adds to the game, only 26 years old, is going to be a problem for this division. I don't think she's undersized at all. I think she looks good and is really going to be a problem for this division. I think she's a top 5 girl. I think she wins this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, we seem to agree there. I didn't have the confidence to bet on her at that price point, but maybe I do my own little parlay here with Loma and my own little lady parlay. You did many more than I will, and if you want to check out Jacob's,
I did 3, and if you want to see it, become a member, premium member. WeWantPicks.com. Become a premium member. Only $10 a month. We're talking $10 a month. $2.50 a week. There's 4 weeks divided by 4. 10 for $2.50 a week. You'll become a millionaire. Asterisk, maybe not, but I hope you do. We got everything in there. Become a member. WeWantPicks.com. Click the button at the top.
When you do that, you're like Crazy Eddie selling TVs and mattresses and whatever the hell else. Yeah, you're welcome.
Crazy Eddie sells a lot of mattresses.
You like Loma as much as you do. You're gonna spend that $9,500?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm very confident in her, but $9,500 is a lot to spend. So you think she gets a stoppage, obviously?
She is way better than Denise. That's no disrespect to Denise. I mean, she has worlds of Muay Thai experience, and she's mixed in some wrestling on her own as well. So,
sure.
Yeah.
And the Monkey Knife Fight strike line, I'm assuming you think less then.
Hell yeah.
Well, if you want to explore that Monkey Knife Fight strike
line. You want
line,
to explain what's funny?
Monkey Knife Fight is daily fantasy. All you need to do is go to WeWantPicks.com/MKF. You sign up. They will instantly match your deposit. If you give them 50, they'll give you 50. You give them 100, they'll give you 100. And then you take a look at the strike line and you say more or less. And if you're right, they'll triple your money. WeOnPicks.com/MKF.
Speaking of Monkey Knife Fight, I sent a message to Chris on Discord. Didn't message me back.
He's traveling.
But we got the problem resolved. So if you're watching, we got it resolved. But I would appreciate a message back. I just want to say hi sometimes.
There you go. And look, your Crazy Eddie spiel almost didn't quite do it. Aiton.
What do I got to do?
Almost became a premium member.
Little foot pick.
He almost became a member. All right, let's go.
I'll get those feet on screen. You want me to put the dogs out?
Next up at UFC Vegas 60, we have Aspen Ladd taking on Sara McMann. Aspen Ladd is 9-3 overall, 2-3 in her last 5, riding a 2-fight skid. She's taking on Sara McMann, who is 13-6 overall, 2-3 in her last 5, but she's coming off a nice win after a year away. Aspen Ladd was a really good prospect who took a few years off, and ever since then, she just really hasn't been able to find her rhythm. She's coming off 2 striking-based losses. 2 striking-based losses in a row. Something's in my throat. Nope.
Yeah, you want to...
Yeah, nope. I said no before you could say anything, so that means...
you want to let us know?
She's coming off 2 striking-based losses in a row where even though she got takedowns, she was just a step behind on her feet. Technique-wise, she's not very technical, but she is really tough, decent everywhere, and has no quit in her whatsoever. While her striking can be fun and wild, her path to victory is typically push forward, work in takedowns, and be a bully. Sara McMann is an Olympic silver medalist wrestler who has great power, great takedowns, and a very straightforward game plan. She does have technical striking, but it doesn't look very comfortable when she's trading. If you look at her career, she has had some very solid win streaks, and 4 of her 6 losses are to current or former champions. The other 2 were Marion Renault and Ketlin Vieira. She either dominates in a win, or typically we see her get submitted in a loss. And on its surface, it's a pretty easy breakdown, right? Sara McMann's going to get the takedowns and win, or she's going to lose a striking match. It should be that simple. The tricky part of it all, though, is that Sara can be taken down. We've seen her get taken down, even though she's an Olympic silver medalist wrestler. And in her last fight, Carol Rosa was able to take her down. She had 4 takedowns, 10 minutes of control time, and Carol still got a takedown. And I can see Aspen coming forward and getting her own takedowns. I could also see Aspen giving up takedowns like she did against Sajara and Norma. So this for me is one of the hardest fights on the entire card to pick. Everything in me wants to pick Sara McMann. I picked her in her last fight.
I wonder why.
I want to do it again, but I'm just going to go with Aspen Ladd here, literally just because of the dog in her. And, she's just much better striking.
What kind of dog do you think is in her?
She's a dog.
Yeah, but I know. I know you said, but what kind of dog?
She's not vicious, but she doesn't
like a Maltese?
give up. I would say like a pound mutt. So it's not like a vicious dog, but it's it's been on the streets.
Hey,
it's been on the streets. It's been tough.
So you call her mutt that's been on the streets? Okay. I thought I was thinking maybe like a boxer.
Let's go, dipshit. Let's go.
Something that's more fight related, something like that. But you want to call her from the street? It is what it is. So, listen, I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen in this matchup. Sara McMann is going to win the first round. She'll get a takedown. She wins the first round probably in every single fight she's ever had. I don't know if that's a fact, but it seems like that. She'll get the takedown, win the first round. We know that Sara McMann is going to lose the third round because she gets tired and she can no longer get the takedowns, and that's when she loses fights because she usually is winning and then she loses. So she's going to lose the third round. So she's going to win the first round, lose the third round. What's going to happen in the second round? I think Aspen Ladd is good enough to make her work for the takedowns in the first round. I think she's probably able to get the takedowns, but is able to make her work hard enough to where that she cannot really get the takedowns in the second round, and Aspen can then maybe get a takedown of her own or shine in the striking. Basically, this comes down to Sara McMann's gas tank. If she had an actual gas tank, she might be the champion of the world. She is that good of wrestler. As an Olympic wrestler. She'll win the first round. She'll lose the third round. I think she gets tired enough in the first round that Aspen Ladd can win the second round. I think that's as simple as this breakdown is. Honestly, I think Aspen Ladd is almost like a younger version of Sara McMann, where I don't think she's a good wrestler, but the same style of fighter. She just wants to kind of grind you, take you down. I think Aspen Ladd is able to win the second round. That's as easy as it is. I take Aspen Ladd to win 2 or 3 rounds. I don't know what else you want from me, Angelo.
No, there you go. What I want from you is Aspen Ladd worth $8,400.
You know what I want from you? I want Angela Yu to go to We Want Picks, sign up to become a Sorry. I probably
At least my transitions are smooth. Yeah. And when you do it, it sounds sarcastic, like it's not a great value or
well, no, it sounds entertaining, and people are like, "Oh, wow." I mean, we are satellite in the chat.
That one dude said,
"Because you say the same thing." No, you say the same thing every time. You always do some weird transition, then you just say the same thing. Become a premium. Go to WeWantPicks.com. Become a premium member. It is only $10 a month. That is $2.50 a week.
The best part is you told me that the first time I ever said the $2.50 a week thing, you're like, oh shit, that is cheap. So clearly it's important. What do you think of DraftKings? $8,400 for Aspen Lad.
If you go to a mall and take out a penny from the wishing well, 1 penny every 10 minutes, that will pay for your premium membership.
Okay. Aspen Lad, I think, is worth the $8,400, but she can certainly lose this fight the same way Cara Rosa did. What do you think? Yeah,
I wouldn't play either one of these girls.
I'm not going to.
I think it's a boring fight, and
I'm not going to. I do think Aspen's worth that $8,400, but I'm probably not going to do it because this is such a tough pick. Like this is tricky because of it, and it really all comes down to just Sara, like you said, her wrestling and her cardio. The Monkey Knife Fight strike line, I do think they'll get there. I think it's probably a more situation. I think this is a decision. I think it's a dogfight, as I've mentioned. And Aspen Lad, we know, throws like crazy. If Sara gets a takedown or two, then she can work on top and get to that 54. What do you think?
Next week, she's going to be 42 years old.
So?
It's fucking old.
I'll tell Tiffany that you think that. All right. WeWantPicks.com/bet. Sign up, make a deposit. I'll send you $50 as a thank you. Next up, at UFC Vegas 60, we have Trevin Giles taking on Luis Cosce. Trevin Giles is 14-4 overall, 3-2 in his last 5, riding a 2-fight skid. Luis Cosce is 7-1 overall, 4-1 in his last 5, coming off the first loss of his career. Trevin Giles is a very athletic grappler with a solid jab. He's pretty light on his feet, and he does a nice job working in and out of range. He'll throw a combination and then step back out of range and reset. Regardless of what the stats say, though, his wrestling offense is not very good, but he does have solid takedown defense at 75%. He sets a nice pace, and he pumps his jab really well. Luis Cosce is a dangerous striker with real power in his hands. He has a bully pressure style with heavy punches and solid work on top if he ends up there. He's not the most technical striker, but he does make up for it with power and pressure. And he's coming off that loss to Sasha Politnikov, where he was dominating that fight, and he was seconds away from a stoppage win before he literally blew his load and then didn't get it. So that's what happens when you chase a stoppage. You don't have the
I hate when that happens. You think something's going to happen, and then the load goes.
Trevin Giles being a -200 favorite is, we mentioned a few times today, that's just way more wide than I think it should be.
I mentioned wide.
Way more wide. I mentioned Trevin's takedowns aren't great, but they should still be good enough in this matchup. Luis is probably going to be the better, more powerful striker, but Trevin is just so athletic. He does a great job pumping that jab, and he should be able to get it to the ground. And on the ground, I think there's a pretty wide advantage for him. So Trevin's going to be the pick. I hate these odds. These are far, far too wide. But this may be an inside the distance decision, no action bet for Luis Cosce. What are the odds on that, Jake?
Oh my God! Here we go. Let me scroll through here. Inside the distance decision, no action for Cosce plus 170.
Oh, well.
I don't know if I love that.
You think he gets finished?
I think it's a finish or get finished type of fight. I mean, does not go the distance is -325, and Trevin Giles is a 2-1 favorite, so they think that Trevin Giles is probably going to get a finish or get finished.
Sure.
So I would be careful with that, but I understand because Cosce, I think, is definitely the more dangerous fighter in this matchup. And Trevin Giles, former lock in the week, pretty good boxer, got a very snappy jab, but this guy... I mean, he's a pretty good boxer, but I think at one point said that he was the best boxer in the UFC, which, like, let's relax. Everyone knows that Adrian Yanez, best boxer in the UFC, followed by Ryan Hall, easy number 2, best boxer in the UFC, then Max Holloway, number 3 as far as the best boxers goes. But listen, he is a pretty good boxer, but when he boxes and he's able to flow in his range, it is when he has space and he can kind of go at his own pace. When he's kind of leading the dance and he can go in and out and snap that jab and bounce in and out, working a takedown or two. That's when he is at his best. When he is pressured and the pace is put on him, that is when he starts to welt and starts to fold. He was a 185er. Now he's back at 170, which I think is going to suit him better. He lost his last fight, but I think he is going to be better at 170 because he's not going to have the big wrestlers. I mean, we fought, what was it, the Rodolfo? Was that the one that he won, but he didn't win? Lock of the week. It was a weird situation.
That was the boy
Rodolfo?
who took JP Bays' wife there. It was Delidze.
Oh, Delidze. By the way, she did post on her Instagram story. She was at a table and showed his name, Roman Delidze. She made the pan like, hey, I'm sitting at Roman Delidze's table. I was like, oh, shit. And that dude is the scariest dude. I mean, he talks like this. I'm Roman Delidze. It's like, hey, I get it, man. I get it. How you doing, Cheyenne? Yeah, Trevin Giles, he is not going to like the first round of this matchup. I mean, Cosce is going to come in, get in his face, try to get that finish, maybe working a takedown, but he is going to be all over Trevin Giles' face. Sorry, he's gonna be all over him in this matchup. But if Trevin Giles is able to survive the first round, we've seen Cosce time and time again. He's a first round or bust type of guy, and if he has not fixed his cardio issues, he hasn't fought in a while. If he has not fixed his cardio issues, Trevin Giles, if he's able to survive that first round, I think he takes over, wins rounds 2 and rounds 3, and maybe even finds a finish because Cosce is so tired. So this is a weird matchup. I can't even remember who I picked in this. I think I picked Cosce because I think he's able to get that first round finish. But if he's not, it's big issues. So this might be a live bet situation. This might be a situation where Cosce looks like he's dominating the first round, and all of a sudden the odds flip to Trevin plus 100 after the first round. But we've seen Cosce have those cardio issues, so then you might want to bet Trevin Giles in those situations. Even if he's getting the shit beat out of him in the first round, he will be there in the second and third round where Cosce might not be. So I think I'm taking Cosce. I got to check my picks. I think it's Cosce, though.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned I hate these odds. I like Trevin Giles. I hate these odds, so therefore I hate the DraftKings pricing. $9,100? That's so much money. If he definitely was going to wrestle, for sure. But he doesn't always wrestle.
He's not a wrestler.
So.
He's not a wrestler.
Yeah, but he works in takedowns in every single fight.
He's not a wrestler. He wants to dance around, throw his jab out there. I think he does it if he needs to, but he'd rather just kind of be that guy that just kind of throws strikes.
Sure. Yeah, so I don't think we really like the DraftKings pricing here. Well, do you like Cosce at 71 or probably not?
It's probably two boom or bust for me, and I definitely hate that $9,100 for Trevin Giles because I think he definitely is in trouble in the first 2 or 3 minutes of this fight.
Sure. Well, guys, don't forget to become a premium member. I say it all the time, and I'm sure it's annoying, but it's worked for almost 1,000 of you so far, and every single one of you are getting incredible value. All of our picks, all of our bets the second we place them. DraftKings ownership projections, a DraftKings optimizer. Those two things alone, other people are charging $10 each. There's people out there charging $10 just for the ownership, $10 for an optimizer. Then it's like a $15 upsell for their bet. It's ridiculous what these other people are doing, and that's
Greedy,
not us.
Absolute greedy bitches.
It's true, though. We are the Costco of MMA. We're giving you incredible quality with incredible value at an incredible price, and we're not going to touch it. We're the $1.50 and Pepsi deal at Costco.
I was going to say, we got some hot dogs.
They literally, you don't like Costco, but
Wieners.
Costco literally loses money on those, and they said they will never raise that price. You will always be able to get that giant hot dog and a Coke for $1.50. That's exactly what we're doing here.
Is it really that big? I've never had it, but
it's huge. It's great. It's great.
How big is it, Angelo?
We want picks.
Show me with your fingers.
WeWantPicks.com.
Tell me when to stop.
Click.
Tell me when to stop.
Become a member. Stop. And then curve it. Fucking moron.
Ooh.
Next up. At UFC Vegas 60, we have Pat Sabatini taking on Damon Jackson. Pat Sabatini, 17-3 overall. 5-0 in his last 5, and he is riding a 6-fight win streak. Damon Jackson is 21-4 overall, 4-1 in his last 5, with that one loss being to Ilia Topuria. I mean, nobody's going to listen to anything I'm saying because of what the nonsense you're doing right now. Okay. Jacob likes Pat, and there's some poster he made. Damon Jackson is a very good grappler. He's an opportunistic grappler, meaning he snatches things up and scrambles instead of plotting techniques. He can slug it out on his feet, which does work for him depending on what the matchup is. He doesn't really have much power, but he does land some heavy shots, and then he immediately works for takedowns. He has a low 38% takedown accuracy, but he will just continue to shoot and shoot and shoot. When he ends up on top, he does have some solid control. He's coming off that decision over Dan Argueda, where he went 2 for 4 in takedown attempts, but he had an insane 10 minutes of control time, which was essentially the first 2 rounds. And we love Pat Sabatini here. We've picked him to win in every single one of his fights that we've broken down so far, and it's been working for us, right? He's got very good wrestling, solid pressure when he's on top. His grappling is incredible, and he's just always live for a submission. He does have technical striking, and he moves well to control range with in and out boxing. He's coming off
wings there?
Right, it was, but you just keep moving, right? They might not have noticed that your tongue was in the wrong spot. He is coming off 2 grappling heavy losses, or grappling heavy wins in a row, where he had 6 takedowns against TJ Laramie and 5 against Tucker Lux. If I had to give some criticism, I think he just needs to strike more and get a little more fluid with it. So people are worried about his hands, and then the grappling is a little bit more of a surprise. This is grappler versus grappler matchup for sure. And if we look at who the better grappler is, I got to go with Pat. Pat is the better pure grappler. We know he's the better wrestler as well, so he can control where this fight goes. The one thing that worries me here, though, is just Damon Jackson's pressure. He could absolutely just come forward, pressure shoot, and then now he has Pat Sabatini backing up and not implementing his grappling game plan. So that's the one thing that worries me here. Pat is the pick. He's got the better wrestling, the better pure grappling. Damon Jackson probably actually the better striker in this matchup, but I like Pat Sabatini here, and I am surprised to see that the line is closing, meaning Pat is a smaller favorite than he was just a few days ago. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, let me first off by saying what I'm about to say is no disrespect to Damon Jackson. I think he watches our videos. Damon, good luck to you on Saturday. You seem like a great guy, great dude. I know you're very confident in this matchup. But my dude is Patty Sabatini. I mean, I got the poster for him. He is my dude. He has been lock of the week 4 times, 4-0 lock of the week. Doesn't matter if he's a favorite, if he's a dog. He comes in, he dominates. The thing that worries me in the matchup is 2 things. Listen, Pat Sabatini is going to win this fight. But the thing that worries me is 2 things. And I'll be straight up honest. I'm very biased, but I'll be honest about Pat Sabatini. He has not made the striking advances in it, or he has not looked like, what's the word I'm looking for? He's not looked better in his striking as much as I'd like to see. His striking is not improved as much as I would like to see in his UFC wins. He kind of looks the same fight after fight. He's very technical in his striking, but you could see he's not real comfortable while doing it. And maybe he is more comfortable than what it seems, but there was one fight, the second he got hit, he went down, he got a heel hook out of it, but he was cracked, he was dropped, and he was able to find the heel hook out of it, but his striking has not improved. I mean, he just kind of stands there. He does bob and weave, and he'll throw strikes, but he's obviously much more confident and comfortable on the ground. And Damon Jackson in his last fight versus David, that was an undersized, short-notice dude that Damon controlled basically for the first 2 rounds, and then found himself in a little bit of trouble in the 3rd round. At times, it looked like Damon was really kind of gassing in that situation, and that was in a fight where he was on top and controlling for like 10 minutes of that fight. If he is on the bottom against Pat Sabatini, I mean, the control that Pat Sabatini has when he is on top of people is out of this world. DC even talked about it in one of his last fights. His cage control, when he gets somebody up against the cage, the way that he's able to control, where usually people, if you get to the cage, you get your knees, you're able to stand up. He just keeps people there, and Damon is going to have a hard time getting back to his feet, and is going to gas even harder than he did in those top control positions against David. The other thing that worries me too with Pat is it's been a lot of decision UFC, and he's very open and honest about, I need to get finishes. If I want to be one of those top guys, he's not a young buck, he's 31, 32 years old. This is his time to shine. If I want to start moving up the rankings, I need finishes. And in this matchup versus Damon Jackson, when you start doing submission over position, because up until this point, Pat is very position over submission. He will not chase a submission unless he knows it's there. He'll start to work that arm over, but if he's losing position, no, he's not chasing it. But if he starts chasing wins and chasing finishes and chases submissions against Damon Jackson, there could be weird sweeps and weird reversals in this match, because Damon is very well versed in his own right on the ground. So that's the only thing that kind of worries me, but I don't mind Pat trying to get finishes, because I do think he does need finishes to start working up the rankings. But my dude absolutely is Pat Sabatini. I was actually surprised he was even a minus 200. I honestly, and this is no disrespect to Damon, I thought that the odds makers were going to have him at minus 300, something like that. So I jumped all over minus 200. As you mentioned, the odds have come down a little bit. I might double down on my dude Patty Sabatini, because he is the truth. Coming out of that Renzo Gracie Philly camp, those dudes are undefeated. Sean Brady, Petrovsky, Jeremiah Wells, and Pat Sabatini all undefeated. Great camp. He's going to be ready, man. Can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're aligned. Obviously, you're higher on him than I am, but I think we both think he wins. $9,000, I do see a path for Damon, a pretty clear path, honestly, if he initiates. But I'm still going to go with Pat here at 9,000. It should be worth it, literally because of control time. Even if he doesn't get a finish, he should get a bunch of control time, and that does rack up. But 9,000 is a lot to spend. What do you think of that?
You know what this actually kind of reminds me of, and you're not going to like this analogy, but this feels like the Ryan Hall and who was the wrestler that he fought? Damn it, man.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, "Oh, Ryan Hall's going to come in and get out wrestled because he's not the wrestler in this matchup." I know that Pat is kind of the more wrestler than Damon Jackson, but it was kind of the same odds, right? Ryan Hall was like a 2-1 favorite, but everyone's like, he's kind of the jiu-jitsu guy. He doesn't really, I think and then Ryan Hall came in and just absolutely dominated that dude in the wrestling, in the jiu-jitsu. I think it's going to be the same type of thing where people are like, "Oh, Damon Jackson, the leech with all the subs." And I swear to God, Damon, if you're watching this and you use this as motivation and you beat my dude Patty Sabatini, you're on my Dunzo list. You're right there with Caitlin on my Dunzo's list. Don't do it, Damon. Don't do it, Damon.
Anyway, DraftKings, I think Pat's probably worth it, but that is a steep price point, and there are one or two fighters that we do like a little more there. No monkey knife fight, so what does that mean? That means you should go to WeOwnPicks.com and at the top click Become a Member. Instead, it's only $2.50 a week, and we have brand new bets for every single event, exclusive bets for premium membership. All of our picks early. The bets are early. We rank every single DraftKings fighter by salary group. We do the projected points earning, the projected ownership, and we have a DraftKings optimizer, which is a tool that will literally build lineups for you. That's what it does. Complicated math equations, and it just builds lineups for you anywhere from 1 to 150. WeOwnPicks.com. At the top, click Become a Member. It's $10 a month. Come on, guys. It's literally less than Netflix. Let's go. And we're putting out better content, frankly.
All right. There's no porn on Netflix.
Yeah, what a joke. Next up, at UFC Vegas 60, we have Anthony Hernandez taking on Marc-Andre Barriault. Anthony Hernandez is 9-2 overall, 3-2 in his last 5, and he is riding a 2-fight win streak. Marc-Andre Barriault is 14-5 overall, 3-1-1 in his last 5, coming off a bounce-back win after a pretty bad knockout loss earlier this year. And Anthony Fluffy Hernandez is a very good grappler who rose to fame basically just by having better cardio than Rodolfo Vieira. He does have some solid takedowns. He is a BJJ black belt, and although he's willing to strike, that's not his path to victory. He's coming off the victory over UFC newcomer Josh Freem, where he had an impressive 8 takedowns and 11 minutes of control time. Marc-Andre Barriault is a pretty well-rounded fighter with solid kickboxing and takedowns. His jiu-jitsu is solid, but his takedowns can definitely use some work. Marc-Andre is typically looking to pressure forward, wear you down on your feet, and he has impressive striking volume, though, with almost 6 significant strikes landed per minute. He is coming off a submission win over Jordan Wright in the first round, where he gave up 2 takedowns before snatching up a guillotine. Marc-Andre is likely the more well-rounded fighter in this matchup, right? He's got solid striking, solid BJJ on the ground. The issue, though, is that while his takedown defense is 68%, he has also been taken down 12 times in 8 fights, and by people who really just aren't even as good at grapplers as Anthony Hernandez. So I like Fluffy to get the takedowns, get the win, but he's definitely going to need to be careful on his feet because Marc-Andre is the far better striker. This whole card is like a graveyard of your lost lock of the weeks in the past.
Well, we mentioned Trevin already, and he won. Or Giles, not Trevin.
And he shouldn't have, but go ahead.
No, but there's a lot of lock of the week killers. Even when I was breaking down the card on Twitter, I was like, this is a guy's a lock of the week killer. This guy's a lock of the week killer. And Barriault is one of those lock of the week killers. But that was one of those situations where I knew that Jordan Wright was going to win that fight because I knew that he was going to kill him in. And people don't realize that Jordan Wright is a pretty good wrestler. I mean, he's not like a dominant wrestler. He's a pretty good wrestler, and that was the path to victory. And he saw the path to victory. He went in there. He got clipped a little bit, which Barriault is known as powerball. He's supposed to be this powerful guy. I don't think he's got power. I don't think he's got, obviously at 185, you're going to have a little bit of power, but he's not like this knockout guy. He's more, as Angelo mentioned, the pace and pressure type of dude. I don't think he's that great. I don't think his takedown defense is that good, and that's why I picked Jordan Wright in that matchup, and that's exactly what Jordan Wright was about to do. He was just about to ragdoll that dude for 3 rounds, maybe even get a submission win, was able to take him down very easily, and then just caught in that weird guillotine. The path to victory is very, very simple for Anthony Hernandez, and I think he's a better wrestler than Jordan Wright. He's not going to get caught in that. That was the first submission win for Marc-Andre in his pro career, so that was just like kind of a weird flyer situation. That was like the most typical Jordan Wright finish I've ever seen. The guy loses in the weirdest ways possible, but yeah, the path to victory is very simple. I think he's able to find the takedowns. There's a reason I pick against people for lock of the week is because I see the path to victory, and Anthony Hernandez has the exact same path to victory that Jordan Wright has. I think he's able to capitalize on it much better and at a much better pace. So I'm all in on Anthony Hernandez, and I think it's a pretty good value too. What the odds at right now? Let me check.
Minus 180. It's not great value.
Minus 174 now on BetOnline. I think that's pretty good value. I still think it's pretty good value. I think he's able to just absolutely dominate the wrestling.
My favorite part about breaking down this fight card is, like, obviously I have a typo here where I said that Marc-Andre's 5'1". Half of you people in the comments genuinely thought he was 5'1". Like, oh my God, I didn't realize he was that short. I might have to look at my bets. Relax, it's a typo. This dude's not 5'1". Jacob's 5'1", but Marc-Andre is not.
I was waiting for that.
There it is.
That's low hanging fruit. Like, you need to be better than that.
I get it. Short king, as they were saying. Anthony Hernandez, $8,700 in DraftKings. I absolutely think he's worth it. I love to see under that $9,000 price point, especially with takedowns, submission potential, stuff like that. What do you think?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Monkey Knife Fight Strike Line. If you don't know what Monkey Knife Fight is, it is daily fantasy, and all you need to do is say more or less on the amount of strikes you think these guys will land. 56 to 64. Marc-Andre is a pressure guy with a good volume. Anthony Hernandez should be able to get the takedowns. This might be a more. What do you think? It's a tough line.
I think he gets a takedown early, man. And I think Marc-Andre's in trouble. I don't think Marc-Andre's that good. I'm just one of those guys. I just don't think he's that good. Well,
if you're on the Jacob side, then do the under on the Monkey Knife Fight Strike Line. Go less. And you can do that at weonpicks.com/MKF. They will instantly match your deposit up to $100. You give them 50, they'll give you 50. You give them 100, they'll give you $100. And if you want access to every single one of our bets, the very second that we place them, go to weonpicks.com and at the top, click Become a Member. It is only $10 a month. And the fun fact we opened with is if you bet every single bet that we put up there from the beginning, you'd be up money. I see the comment. I'm going to ignore it. It's stupid.
You're not going to post that thing? Thank you, Jeff. Jeff says Angelo should be ball gagged the whole time when he speaks. Jake is why we're here. GG's and clap it
Jeff,
up.
are you a premium member then? Because that supports Jacob directly. Jacob gets
it doesn't matter, Jeff. Don't worry about it, Jeff.
Oh, fuck that. Absolutely not.
Whoa, F-bomb.
You can't shit on half of us and not support the channel. That's not how it works. That's not how it works.
Ad revenue. You got to become a premium member. We just lost our ad revenue, guys. So you got to become a premium member. WeWantPicks.com. Become a
If you're going to trash me or Jacob, you have to at least support the channel as a premium member.
He's a member. There you go. So now you better apologize.
I apologize, Jeff. Thank you for becoming a premium member. And hopefully you're seeing all the value that I brag about. Next up, at UFC Vegas 60, we have Tanner Boser taking on Rodrigo Nascimento. Tanner Boser's 20-8 overall, 3-2 in his last 5, coming off a very nice win over Ovens St. Preux. Rodrigo Nascimento is 8-1 overall, 3-1-1 in his last 5, but he's essentially 4-1 because there was a little bit of USADA issue in there. Tanner Boser is a fun heavyweight striker with solid hands and very real power. He's athletic for the division, but he is sort of a smaller heavyweight that can be bullied. He's coming off a nice win over Ovens St. Preux where he tripled the number of strikes and got a knockout. And that was definitely his best win in the UFC so far, but even his losses hold up, right? He lost a grappling decision to Latifi, which happens, and a kickboxing match to Arlovsky, which happens, and Gane, which happens. Rodrigo Nascimento is coming back after more than a year away, and as I mentioned, it wasn't actually a USADA issue, it was a Nevada Athletic State issue, but dude's still pissed hot. But that was technically a TKO win that they overturned. He's an aggressive striker, but he is a grappler at heart with solid submissions. If he stays standing, he's going to get sucked into a firefight, and that might not go his way. His path to victory is grappling, where he has a giant edge. He has a 100% finish rate, and for the most part, he just marches forward for the clinch to get a takedown. And unlike Tanner, he is pretty big for the weight class. Obviously, they're the same height, but they're just different sized people if you look at them. And this is another line that's a little wide to me, right? Like Tanner's essentially a 2-1 favorite. What are these odds right now?
Oop.
Yeah, Tanner's. Oh, I don't have. I have these backwards. Oh well. Tanner is almost a 2-1 favorite, and I appreciate how athletic he is, but he's small, and we have seen him be bullied in the past. Nascimento's big for the division, and he loves to come forward, grind, and grapple. I think Nascimento's layoff, though, is going to help Tanner. So I like Tanner Boser here to get the win. This is a tough fight to pick because Nascimento is very good, but Tanner's athletic. He's been busy. He looked fantastic in his last fight. So I do like Tanner Boser to get the win. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, I mean, this is a very simple breakdown. I think Nascimento definitely needs the takedowns and gets his fight to the ground. Is he going to be able to is the big question. You look at Tanner Boser, going to be the better striker. He's a fast heavyweight. When he strikes, he is like one of those. He looks like a light heavyweight when he strikes. Very in and out, very good with the speed, the good footwork. And when you watch his fights, you immediately see the Latifi fight. And you see the takedowns. You think, oh, he got taken down by Latifi. If Rodrigo can go take him down. But Latifi, those were like wrestling takedowns. I mean, those were explosive. Latifi's not a big heavyweight. He's a shorter, explosive wrestler. Those were singles, doubles. And Tanner was still able to kind of withstand a little bit of it. But once he was flat on his back, it was an issue. And if he does end up flat on his back against Rodrigo, he is in big trouble. The question is, or the issue is, I don't think Rodrigo is going to be able to get the takedowns. Look, Tanner is very experienced as a heavyweight, very good with his footwork, very good in and out, good with his striking. I don't think Rodrigo is going to be quick enough, fast enough to be able to close that distance to be able to get those takedowns versus Tanner. So I think this is quite simply, Tanner keeps his distance in and out, is able to outstrike Rodrigo, and Rodrigo is just simply not fast enough and doesn't have the wrestling takedowns to get Tanner to the ground. Maybe if he is able to hurt him a little bit, get him up against a cage, maybe a weird trip or something, but Tanner should be well experienced and well versed against wrestlers to that extent to where I think he's able to withstand the takedowns and win a striking battle. But they're heavyweights, and anything can happen. Don't ever bet on heavyweights. Don't do it, man. So I'm picking Tanner. Angel is picking Tanner. Don't put any money on him.
Yeah, I'm sort of with you here. Like no money on this fight. But Tanner Boser should get that win. He's ridiculously athletic, and that goes a really long way, especially at those type weight classes like a heavyweight.
What do you know about athleticism?
What? That's what I thought. Tanner Boser,
I said
$8,800.
What do you know about athleticism? Tell him how your jiu-jitsu's been going.
First of all, I've been doing jiu-jitsu for 20 plus years.
You did it for like 4 years, and then he didn't do it for 16 years. So
not quite, but there definitely have been some layoffs there. But
anyway, you're back in. You're rolling around.
I'm rolling around. $8,800. You spending that on Tanner?
I can tell that you're not really getting into it because your ears are very normal.
I've always had normal ears. That's not how I wrestled my entire life.
You should see if I took this off, it would be so disgusting.
No, I've
leaking. It
wrestled
literally just oozes constantly because I'm just constantly just, God.
Yeah, I bet. I've wrestled my entire life, and I just have the tiniest bit you'll never notice of cauliflower on one side. That's because I use my forehead. I'm not tying up here. I'm bang, right up the middle. Anyway,
Wow. That explains the stuttering.
$8,800 worth it or not?
No.
Okay. Probably not. But he could, he could get a stoppage there. We're talking almost $9,000. Very clear path to victory for both guys. So absolutely not worth that money. 52-62 in the Monkey Knife Fight strike line. I actually, they're heavyweights, but I do think this is a more. I think this is a longer fight because I think it's Tanner dancing around just avoiding takedowns, and then Rodrigo touching him up against the cage to try to get those takedowns. So if you want to check that out, wewantpicks.com/MKF. Sign up, make a deposit. They will instantly match that deposit. Take the free money, use that, and go ahead and play them more and more here. I'm pretty confident in that. And if you want to become a premium member, it is only $10 a month, $2.50 a week, and it gives you access to every single one of our bets the very second we place them. And we have now linked premium membership with Discord. So when we do our DraftKings ownership, when we do bets, when we do all of those things, any update will immediately go to the Discord, and you will get alerts on your phone, so you don't have to constantly be logging in to check out.
Just add in, people. I see people in chat already. Lock of the week. What's the lock of the week? If you guys were premium members, you would see my early bets, and you would understand right now who lock of the week.
It is funny because people ask me every week. I get emails. Does premium membership include Jacob's lock of the week? And Jacob is not going to hide it behind the paywall, which I agree with. I'm not greedy. I'm not just putting things behind the paywall.
Lock of the week is for the people, but I do place lock of the week bets every Sunday, so you can. Yeah, you can go in there and become a premium and be like, oh yeah, that looks like a lock of the week, especially this week.
Jacob doesn't tell me who it is until he does his video either. And last week I was like, okay, 4 units on Underdog. I guess we know the lock. So anyway, wewantpicks.com at the top, click become a member. Next up, at UFC Vegas 60, we have Alen Amedovski taking on Joseph Fire. Alen Amedovski is 8-3 overall, 2-3 in his last 5, and he is riding a 3-fight skid. Joseph Fire is 9-2 overall, 3-2 in his last 5, coming off a Contender Series win just a few weeks ago. Alen Amedovski was undefeated coming into the UFC, but he has lost his first 3 UFC fights, and he had a 3-year layoff in that sort of span, not now. Alen is a powerful striker who chases knockouts. He does have holes in the grappling game, and that can be exploited in the past. He's a very clear knockout or bust fighter, but to be fair, he does have knockout power, so it's not that unreasonable. Why are you smirking?
I just fucking spit everywhere. Yeah.
Disgusting creep. Joseph Fire is an incredibly powerful striker who managed to break his arm in half on Dana White Contender Series just to heal up, come back, and knock his opponent out cold. His regional success was similar. He hits like an absolute truck and uses his pressure to break people. And you don't see much of it, but he can have nice, clean takedowns with solid BJJ. I love Joe in this matchup. Punch for punch, he should be a heavier hitting striker, and we know he does have that wrestling. He took Dustin Stoltzfus down in that fight when his arm broke. He took down Ozzy Diaz in that fight where he flatlined him, and obviously Alan's going to be live for a knockout because that's what he does, but Joe's pressure, power, wrestling if he needs it. I like him. I think he absolutely gets this win. I think he's probably safe for parlays as well. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, I would be very, very surprised if Alen wins this matchup, because when you watch that fight versus Joseph Holmes, I think it was his last fight. Yeah, Joseph Holmes. The second he was on the ground and in that choke, Joseph Holmes didn't even have hooks in. The second he put his arm around his neck, you could see in Alan's eyes, like, I just don't even want to do this shit anymore. I mean, he took the time off. It just looks like it was not a guy that's in there to try and win a fight. I mean, he did not try to fight. No, there was no hooks in. He's just on the fence, arm, and he was just sitting there like it was almost like one of those free frames. Like, what am I doing here right now? Like, why am I here? I think he's just in here, and this could be super disrespectful, and maybe he comes in and looks great, and that'd be great if he does. It'd be great underdog story, but I think he's just here to collect checks, to get his check, get his money, to show money and go home. And Pfeiffer is one of those young, up-and-coming dudes that is absolutely hungry and absolutely looks the part of somebody that can compete at the middleweight division. You mentioned the striking, the dominant wrestling as well. If I'm Joseph, I don't mess around on the feet because Allen will have power. He will. I mean, even that Joseph Holmes fight, he was like marching forward. But the second he's going to face adversity, he's going to fold. I would just take him to the ground, start grounding, pounding him, find the submission win, whatever you need to do. Don't mess around on the feet. But if you want to mess around on the feet, you can probably knock him out as well. I'm Joseph all the way. I wanted to place the bet I wanted to place immediately as soon as it dropped was the under 1.5 for this fight. I got it on. They dropped it under 1.5 minus 115. I went to place it a few units. And they said the odds have changed. It moved to 175 and does not go the distance, I think, is minus 400. So I'll probably find something for Joseph for this fight for a finish. But I definitely wanted that under 1.5, and it sounded like a lot of people did as well. But Joseph all the way.
You know, it's crazy. I don't know if we've ever seen a $9,700 fighter, have we? I mean, that's
like Nunes and Shevchenko, I think have been before.
I mean, those are astronomical numbers, But honestly, there is a world where he's worth it, especially on a card like this, where like all of these fights, or not all, but there's 14 fights. 9 of them are pick'ems essentially, or like not odd wise, but should be. So
if you know what you're like, if you're experienced and you do the research we do, we understand that they are picking fights. That's why you got to become a premium member. WeWantPicks.com. Spend your $10. We do the fucking research for you. You sit back, kick your legs back, watch the fights, collect your money. Easy peasy, lemon fucking squeezy. 2 F words. You said F words.
WeWantPicks.com. Click become a member. I honestly will probably spend the $9,700. As crazy as that is, just because there's not that many people in this card that I'm very confident in, but he is one of them, so I'll probably spend that. Monkey Knife, I strike line 63 to 41. Man, I think it's less because I think Joe just comes out bombing away. If he gets a takedown, he'll bomb away there. So I think it's a less situation. What do you think?
I think it's an easy less.
Well,
easy.
If you want to give it a try, WeWantPicks.com/MKF. They will instantly match your deposit. So if you give them $50, they'll give you 50. Take the free money. Play some of these lines. Do some knockout kings. If you lose it all, who gives a shit? It wasn't yours. And if you win, even better. You now have even more free money. That's WeWantPicks.com/MKF. Next up, at UFC Vegas 60, we have the feature fight of the evening. We have Andre Fili taking on Bill Algeo. Andre Fili, 21-9 overall, 1-3-1 in his last 5, and he is coming off the knockout loss to Joe Anderson Brito. Bill Algeo, 16-6 overall, 3-2 in his last 5, coming off the memorable win over Herbert Burns. And Andre Fili is a really well-rounded guy, and he was supposed to be sort of the next big thing coming out of Team Alpha Male, but he just didn't live up to that hype. And part of that was matchmaking. If you take a look at him and see who he fought Max Holloway in his second UFC fight, and his other losses were Yair Rodriguez and Calvin Kattar. Style-wise, Andre is a very well-rounded technical brawler with wrestling. He does get hit often, which you can see with his negative striking differential, and he does rely on his chin, which did hold up until that last fight. And we've talked about this a bunch of times, and Jacob always says it. You've never been knocked out until you have. But, there's a lot of fighters recently that have been relying on their chins, and we've seen
I've been knocked down. I had my best friend knocked me down one time. That was not a fun night, but wasn't knocked out. And that was a good hit. I ate that well. I mean, that was right to the side of the head. Wasn't a chin shot. I never take him on the chin, Angelo.
I bet. Bill Algeo is a fast-paced striker who has kind of a karate-style stance, like with his hand placement and movement. And because of that, his defense is pretty solid and surprisingly high output of almost 6 significant strikes per minute. He likes a dirty stand-up war if he can keep it there. And he does have some okay takedowns, but a very low 54% takedown accuracy. He's got a BJJ black belt, great cardio, a fast pace, and he is super durable. And he's coming off that win over Herbert Burns where he literally broke that man. He broke him, and that was one of the most embarrassing fights and situations I've ever seen, ever. Not for Bill, for Herbert. And I've been high on Andre Fili in the past, and I really thought that he could be something meaningful in the UFC. I was buying into all that hype early, but he's 2 years removed from his last win, and I don't see him getting another one here. If I knew he would stick to a pure wrestling game plan, 100% he would be the pick, but he just hasn't really done that since that Charles Jourdain fight, and I think Algio's pressure, pace, and his chin are going to get him the win here. So I'm going the underdog with Bill Algio. I got a money line bet on him at plus 115. So if you're a premium member, you saw that bet. And those are much more favorable odds than the plus 100 here. What do you think, Jakey Lutz?
Yeah, there's three people that are like all the same people to me. There's Charles Jourdain, Charles Rosa, and Bill Algio. They're all like very tough, nasty fighters. Not great anywhere, but they always find a way to win these tough matchups. And I think this is the same situation in this fight where Bill Algio is definitely probably going to be the tougher, nastier, grittier fighter. But if you're looking at pure skill, as you mentioned, touchy-feely, I think is head and shoulders talented above Bill Algio. He's one of the more talented guys in the division, as you mentioned. Because of that, he started off in the UFC against some of the toughest guys. I mean, they knew he was this tough guy. They tested him early. He failed a lot of those tests, but as a fighter, he is a much more well-rounded fighter than, I said more well-rounded. I think you said that earlier.
Sure did.
Yeah. He is the much well-rounded fighter than Bill Algio in this matchup. And I actually think this is the perfect matchup for touchy-feely. If you lose this matchup versus Bill Algio, then you're really, really in the struggle bus. You're probably going Bellator, PFL, something like that. Struggle bus like that. Because touchy-feely is a guy that, against a power striker, obviously against Joseph Barriault, if you want to play the MMA math, Bill Algio beat Barriault, and then Barriault knocks out touchy-feely. But Barriault has like real knockout power, and in this matchup, Bill Algio doesn't have knockout power, so he doesn't really have to worry about the knockout power of Bill Algio. He can kind of play his game on the feet, and as you mentioned, he can kind of mix in some takedowns as well, because Bill Algio doesn't have the greatest takedown defense, and I think that touchy-feely can come in, do his normal game plan of just keeping that distance, bouncing in and out. He's got decent power on his own when he lands a good shot. I think he finds his rhythm in this fight versus Bill Algio, a guy that's not super dangerous on the feet, mixes in some takedowns, and I think this honestly is a perfect matchup for him. Does that mean he's going to win? Doesn't mean he's going to win, because we've seen him lose fights that he should win in the past. I mean, that's just what happens in MMA sometimes. But I think he's a better fighter, and I think this is a perfect matchup for him. So I'm going touchy-feely, fool me once, type situation. We'll see if it pays off. Bill Algio definitely is probably the tougher, grittier guy. So if this turns into an ugly fight, it's going to lean that way. Same with Charles Rosa, Charles Jourdain, all those fighters. But I think Andre's the better fighter in this matchup.
Well, we've talked about this before. This is another fight where Jacob and I are on different sides, but we completely agree in our analysis. Our analysis is the same. We both think Andre Fili is very talented. He's good everywhere. But I think Bill Algio is going to be able to get the win. Jacob jinx Andre Fili is going to be able to get the win.
How do you see that win for Bill Algio? Just
pressure and pace. Just going to stay in his face, beat him up. Andre Fili coming off that bad knockout. Probably going to be a little gun shy. Might dive at legs, but Bill Algio, could defend a few, and then it makes Andre look desperate. I think it's a decision win for Bill Algio. That knockout was pretty bad.
I disagree with the pick, but I don't disagree with that.
That knockout was bad. It was career-changing bad. Like, some people don't recover from those, and I don't mean physically, like emotionally recover. So.
Right. And he's only 32 years old, but he's
a rough 32. He's a rough 32.
Those are some big fights he's been in, some rough fights.
100%. With that being said, I do appreciate Andre Fili. I like I said in the past, I've been really high on him, and I wanted him to do well. It just never lived up to the hype. But $8,300, listen, I said this. If I knew he was going to wrestle, he'd be my pick, and he'd be the best $8,300 value on the card. I just don't know if he's going to do that. What do you think?
Yeah, Bill's just way too tough for me to. I'm picking Andre to win, but he's just way too tough for the $8,300.
Gotcha. I already told you about the bet, and if you're a premium member, you saw that. You got that line early and got some better plus money on it. And the Monkey Knife Fight strike line, 44-82. That tells you everything you need to know about Bill Algio. That's this dude's volume.
I think it's more and more. If you think Bill's going to push the pace, I don't think he's really a finisher. I don't think he's going to knock out touchy-feely. And he's going to pull those strikes out of him. I think it's more and more.
I think it could be as well. I mean, that's I hate doing the more when we have a line like that high, but I think you're right. I think it's a war, and that's what Bill Algio does. WeWantPicks.com/MKF. They will instantly match your deposit. All you need to do is say more or less than the strike line. And if you want $50 for free, All you need to do is go to wewantpicks.com/bets, sign up with any one of our betting partners, make a deposit, and I will send you $50 as a thank you.
Guys, if you have not signed up for Bet Online, a lot of our bets on Bet Online, they're adding more and more stuff, especially for the pay-per-views. I mentioned, I put in the Discord on Twitter and stuff. They put some wild props for some of the pay-per-view. They had props for Nate Diaz, how many F words he says in the post-fight interview. They had for the Patty fight, will he twerk, will he not twerk? I mean, there's a lot of fun prop bets they put on for some big fights, and those inside the distance of +3.5s. Go to wewantpicks.com/bets. Even if you already have a book, you can still put money elsewhere. Go to Bet Online.
You should always have multiple books. Yeah.
Right, and that's where a lot of those bets that we place are very good value bets. The inside the distance, decision no action, the +3.5, -3.5.
Okay, shut up. Next up, at UFC Vegas 60, we have the co-main event of your dog is going to town on that food.
No, it's the automatic feeder.
Jesus Christ. We have Chidi Njokuani taking on...
explain your dog? If you want
poor dog's probably dying. I hope you're happy. Chidi Njokuani is taking on Gregory Rodriguez. Chidi Njokuani is 22-7 overall, 4-1 in his last 5, riding a 4-fight knockout streak. Gregory Rodriguez is 12-4 overall, 4-1 in his last 5, coming off the knockout win over Julian Marquez. And Chidi Njokuani is a very good striker. He's got speed, power, good distance control. He's not really a high-volume guy, which always stresses me out, but he does stick and move really well. His feet are never in the same place for long, and people have a really hard time getting to him. If you're able to get inside the reach and work your way to his legs, you could potentially have success taking him down, but so far his takedown defense has held up at 76%, and I just cannot stress enough how hard Chidi Njokuani hits. Gregory Rodriguez is a well-rounded guy with good, clean striking power, and he does have a BJJ black belt, and even though he has that black belt, and he is more than capable on the ground, he has really good takedown defense, and he uses it to keep the fights on their feet so that he can slug it out. He's a big guy with power, strength, and the reality is he is a threat everywhere, but he's slow. He's physically slow. He can be lumbering at times, and it's just something that the right fighting style...
Who's slow?
Gregory Rodriguez.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Chidi. I was like, what the hell?
No,
I don't listen a lot of times.
Yeah, I've noticed. And Gregory Rodriguez being slow is probably going to be a problem in this matchup. My gut immediately wanted to pick Gregory when I saw this. Oh, he's an animal. He's going to come forward. And then you do your research, you watch the tape, and you're like, damn, dude, he's a little bit
And
slow.
Gregory that dude is 3 years younger than Chidi.
It's crazy,
Jesus Christ.
dude,
that dude is 30 years old. That guy right there is almost 6 years younger than me. Look at that guy.
It is crazy. This poor guy. It is crazy. Anyway, if you think Greg can work in the takedowns, then maybe you can favor him. But I think he's too slow to close that distance in any meaningful way. And on his way in, Chidi's just going to blast that guy. So I've got Chidi here. I really like him in this matchup a good amount. And I got him at -101. And if you're a premium member, you saw that bet. It's moved to -114. Not incredible movement.
How do you become a premium member?
Well, Jacob, first, just go scrounge up $2.50 a week. Check your sofa cushions. It's really not that much at all. Right. Then go to wewantpicks.com, and at the top there's a button that says Become a Member. Okay. Just click that. Just click that. Give us the $2.50 a week, and you're good, man. You're good. You're in, and you're good.
Oh, my God. I see it, Angelo. Oh, my God. There's all your bets. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen. See? I'm so glad I became a premium member.
There you go. It's like the milk commercials where they can't somehow pour milk without the fucking funnel nozzle thing. Anyway, I did have that bet up for premium members. Got it at -101. It's now -114. It may continue to move. Chidi's the pick. Jakey boy, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Chidi is on a nice little streak here. I mean, he's got the back-to-back first-round knockouts. But we got to remember, this is still a guy that lost 3 of 4 Bellator fights, and even in that fight versus Dusko, as you alluded to, Angelo, he was taken down. And this fight just basically comes down to how Gregory wants to fight. Because Gregory is a guy that's actually a very good grappler. I mean, when you watch him wrestle people, his control and the way he flows with people is fantastic. So if he's able to get Chidi on the ground, I know that Chidi is a black belt, but if he starts scrambling, Gregory stays on your back, man. You saw that in the Chimaev-Kevin Holland fight. And I'm not saying Gregory is Chimaev, but as Kevin Holland was rolling through all those scrambles, Chimaev was just flowing right with him. It was not, and that's going to be the same thing that happens in this fight if it goes to the ground. The issue with Gregory is he is one of those guys that's a very good grappler that just stands and bangs with his concrete head, and he has been knocked out before, but that dude will just eat shots and throw back and has big power. Only 30 years old, so he's still coming into his grown man strength, I guess. Maybe he's going to get even more powerful than he is. This is quite simply, how does Gregory wants to fight? If he stands and bangs with Chidi, I would say there's like a 65-70% chance he's probably going to get knocked out. Chidi hits like a fucking freight train, and Gregory, as you mentioned, isn't the fastest dude. He's not bouncing in and out. He just stands there and does a little bit of head bob action, but Chidi is right down the pipe with those things. I almost really went. I heard pipe, and I almost went on a different tangent, but I texted you and said, who are you picking this fight? And I was just going to pick the opposite because, it is a pick 'em fight. I didn't know who to pick. You picked Chidi. I'm going Gregory, and I'm just going to pray to God that he shoots an early takedown. Dusko was able to get Chidi to the ground. Obviously, wasn't able to, if he was able to get back to his feet. But Gregory, I think, is going to be a better wrestler and better control than Dusko. Shoot your takedown, get your win, and move up in the rankings. Chidi is not this guy that just is beating everyone undefeated. He's got 7 losses. As I mentioned, lost 3 and 4 in Bellator. He can lose. He's not this guy that's just untouchable. Take him down, wear him down, and then try to work him second and third round. So I'll go Gregory. You were Chidi, I'm going Gregory.
Yeah, it should be a fun fight, and I completely agree with you. If you can get to Chidi's legs, you can have success. But Greg's a little slower than somebody you want to be, working. And I agree, but
he is one of those guys that can just kind of he can just kind of eat shots as he's working into that and close that distance. So we'll see what happens. It'll be a fun fight. I'm excited for this fight.
I agree. Chidi at $9,000 is an interesting price point because if he wins, he's worth every nickel.
Well, I think he's 8,000. Someone say he's 8,000 because there's no way it's 9,000.
That is a typo. No, you're right. It is a typo. Wait, holy shit! If he's 8,000, he's incredible value. He's 8,000.
I think that's what somebody said in the chat. If Gregory's 82, it always adds up to.
No, you're right. It's always that is what it adds up to. It's 81 per fighter. 81 each essentially. So at $8,000, Chidi Njokuani is incredible value. Will be in my DraftKings lineup. Period.
And I'll probably play the Gregory side just to hope he gets some takedowns.
Hope for those takedowns. Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to play him, but I think he's probably the better value, I guess. Just because he's got 2 paths, because he can still knock out Chidi too.
He does have 2 paths. You're right. He could knock out Chidi. I don't see it happening, but you're right. We argued about this. At the Macy Chesson fight, and I was right. About that. I said Macy has multiple paths.
Oh yeah, because
Aldana just please that wild liver kick off her back.
They said they train that all the time.
Oh, everybody says that. Nobody's
She literally did say that. You know what's funny is on Twitter, I was like, it's so funny because there's no way she trained that. And literally after the fight, she's like, we train that all the time.
Yeah,
it's like,
it's just so full of shit. You were losing that fight. You were about to lose. You're just flailing your legs in the air. You hit, and it's this big of a spot that you can hit. You happen to hit it with your heel. And we train that.
What do you think would happen if somebody kicked you in your liver? Because your liver is not in great shape.
This is water, so it's phenomenal shape.
Oh, I forgot. Chris you're on the path to wellness now.
Chris V, $5 super chat. Spend this on Javid Basharat this weekend. You will double it. Thanks for the content. WWPs. It's just the WWP, but we appreciate you very, very much, Chris. Thank you. I saw your comment. Looks like you made a couple bucks
because it's picks. So it's we want picks.
Okay, so I'm a snake. Yeah, okay. Thank you very much, Chris. We appreciate it very, very much. Thank you, and congratulations on your wins tonight. And Monkey Knife Eye Strike Line, 52-68. What do you think of that? I'm not touching it.
It's probably a less, man.
Probably. Because I 52
This almost feels like a trap, too. I'll be honest. This is because let me look at the does not go the distance. Because I almost placed that, and I was like, this feels like a
decision.
trap. This feels like an
be.
absolute trap, because if Chidi gets tired and then Gregory just kind of, or if Gregory just is resting, Chidi can handle himself on the ground. I don't think he's going to get submitted by Gregory right off the bat, you know? So if Gregory's just kind of controlling him for 3 rounds, it's minus 240. I almost looked at that plus 190 goes the distance and was like, yeah, maybe a little bit.
I could see this going the distance. I agree, because Chidi's a low-volume guy. Just manages range, fires big shots, and if Gregory is not chasing him, he may not find those big shots. Yeah, okay. Guys, weonpicks.com at the top. Click Become a Member. It's $2.50 a week. You get everything you've ever needed, including our early bets,
play
like the one I had on
that
Chidi.
does not go the distance bet, go to wewontfuckingpicks.com/bets.
Do I have to go buy that domain now? weonpicks.com/bets. We have 5 betting partners. One of them is Bet Online, and they have that inside the distance, no action bet that we like so much here. If you sign up and make a deposit, I'll send you $50.
I'll try to spice up the promos for everyone.
Yeah, people don't like my promos, so I don't know if yours are better or worse.
Now it's getting really confusing in the chat. Anytime Chris V and Sean V start talking to each other, it's like one person's just talking to themselves, and it's
one is like a nice, normal person that just super chatted us, and the other one,
one's Chris V.
The other one's probably the angriest, most miserable person I've ever. I don't even know, but that I've ever seen in writing.
He's a wild dude.
It's incredible. I have never seen so much negativity.
It's funny, too, because he's, like, well-known in the chat. I mean, he shows up, it's like, oh, Sean V, here we go.
It's just all negativity. It's all terrible. Dude, he'll go through, this guy will go through people's comments on a Saturday, 5 minutes after a fight. Random people's comments. Terrible pick, trash pick, you're a moron, you're a piece of shit. And he makes these comments, and then when he is so dead wrong, which is more often than he's right, it's, oops. It's like, what? You can go to somebody else and call them a trash pick asshole, but then you're wrong. Oops. Whoops. Makes no sense. Dude, come on, Sean. Be better.
Sean V, what did you say about Pat Sabatini? Because I thought I saw something about he has no chance, or maybe you said it's an easy pick. Because you better correct yourself right now.
Whatever it was, he was 1,000% certain of it. And then when he's dead wrong, oops.
He was wrong about something like a week ago, and he's like, oh, yeah, sorry, first time I've been wrong. It's like, what? First time I've been wrong.
Absolute mess.
We love you, Sean. I do. Angelo definitely does not, but I do. Sometimes.
Next up, at UFC Vegas 60, we have the main event of the evening. We have Corey Sandhagen taking on Yadong Song. Corey Sandhagen is 14.
Sorry, you got to start this over because that was just a trash pick asshole merch coming soon. We want picks.
Next up, at UFC Vegas 60, we have the main event of the evening. We got Corey Sandhagen taking on Yadong Song. Corey Sandhagen is 14-4 overall. He is 2-3 in his last 5, but his losses are to Petr Yan, Aljamain Sterling, and TJ Dillashaw. Yadong Song is 19-6 overall, 4-1 in his last 5, with that loss coming from Kyler Phillips. And Corey's an active striker. He's got deceiving power and very good techniques. He's fluid, he's fast, and he's really good with combinations and variety. He'll throw punches, kicks, elbows, knees, and he'll just mix it all up and where they land. He's athletic, tough, and he ties it all out with solid BJJ. A lot of people argue that he won that TJ fight, and regardless of what side you're on, I think we can all agree that Corey is dangerous and a problem for a lot of people. Yadong Song is very young. He's only 24 years old, but he's a good technical striker who moves well. He's fast, he hits hard, and he's athletic, but he can be hittable at almost 4 significant strikes absorbed per minute. He throws everything with power, but that does leave him open to takedowns. He has okay submission defense, but he's very good at creating space and getting back to his feet. He does like to dictate the pace, but doing that against another high-level striker like Corey might be a little bit tricky. I think this could be fight of the night. Right? We got the potential here. Two strikers, very different clashing styles of striking, but 2 strikers. Yadong hits incredibly hard, and he's fast. Kyler Phillips and Cody Stamann were able to beat him with the wrestling. And well-rounded Corey, he only has 5 takedowns in 10 fights, and that's kind of a problem. If he had more takedowns, I'd be positive that he would win because he could have a backup plan if the striking's not going his way. The question here becomes, can Corey outstrike Song? I don't know if he can. I am going to lean Corey here in the pick, but literally because this is a 25-minute fight and Corey Sandhagen does a lot of things well, including fighting for 25 minutes. And if he has a bad round, he has no problem ignoring it, leaving it on the stool, coming back out the next round and giving it his all. So that is the reason I'm going to be picking Corey here. But this is not like the most ridiculous, confident, Corey dominates. I think these odds are a bit wide. But I do like Corey Sandhagen to win. I think he takes that 5-round experience with him, and that is why. What are the bets on a plus 5.5 on Song Yadong? I think that could happen.
I don't know. Let me check it for you real quick.
While he's looking that up, what that bet means is you can buy 5.5 points on the judge's scorecard. So if you think it's a close fight, if you think Yadong Song can win, I think he only needs to win 1.5 rounds, basically. He needs to win 1 round on all 3 judges and then a second round on like 2 of the 3 judges, something like that.
It's plus 3.5.
It's not plus 5.5.
And it's minus 155.
Why is it plus 3.5?
They've done that before in 5-round fights.
Yeah, they've only done it when they didn't think it was going to go 5 rounds, but they do think this fight's going to go 5 rounds.
Right, yeah. It does not go the distance. Is plus 115. So it's a pick 'em, but yeah.
Yeah, well, anyway, that bet, so now it's minus or plus 3.5 points. So 3.5 points, I'd probably go the minus because it's just 1 round. So anyway, if you go to weonpicks.com/bets, BetOnline offers that. You can buy points, sell points, and really take some of these fights, make them interesting, make some money. If you sign up, make a deposit, I'll send you $50. Jacob, what do you think?
First of all, like the stream if you're watching this. We appreciate that. If you're watching the video, we appreciate the like. We're almost done with this, but we love to see the likes on the stream. We appreciate that. Listen, I love both these guys. I'm a big Corey Sandhagen guy. You see, I got my autographed Corey Sandhagen card. This thing is worth $100 million. If he wins this fight, it's going to be worth $200 million. So I'm kind of hoping that he wins the fight, but at the same time, Song Yadong is my dude as well. I love that guy. I think this looks very, very similar to the Petr Yan fight because I think Song Yadong fights very similar to Petr Yan as a boxer, as a striker. The difference is, and what he's going to have an issue with is Corey's movement. And you saw Petr have an issue with Corey's movement. He's very fluid, almost Dominic Cruz-like, the way he's in and out and side to side. And I think there's going to be a lot of chasing from Song Yadong. But at the same time, I think he is fast enough and quick enough in his striking to be able to close that distance. So although he's going to be chasing at times, if Corey's able to capitalize on that chasing, he can win this fight. And as Angel mentioned, if he's able to use his wrestling, I definitely think he's going to win that fight if he's able to get the takedowns. I just don't think he's going to be able to do that. So I think it's going to be a striking battle. And is the movement going to be enough to withstand the striking of Song Yadong? Song Yadong, a striker that's known for his speed and volume, and now, as we've mentioned previously on the stream, is coming into his grown man body. The dude is still only 24 years old. He is finding the power, and he's becoming a power puncher. And I think he's becoming much more confident in that power, where before it's just boom, 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 pitter, patter, in and out. I think he's becoming much more confident in his power shots, and I think he's able to find those power shots versus Corey, a guy, as you mentioned, tough as hell, but has been clipped before. He gets clipped, he comes back. But if you get clipped, you're losing rounds. And I'm not saying that Song Yadong is going to finish this dude, but I think there's a real chance that he's able to land a big shot on one of those blitzing shots coming in with the speed, with the precision, with the power in this match. And I think he's able to find one of those big shots and knock down Corey and either use that to win a decision or maybe capitalize and get a finish. So it's not, I don't know if it's going to be a popular pick. I think a lot of people were saying Song Yadong in the chat, but I think this dude's time to shine. And if not, it's fine. He's only 24 years old. I don't think this is a make or break. This is a great fight because no matter who wins this fight, it's good for the division. Corey's either right back in there to compete again, or you get a fresh face in Song Yadong to compete at the top level. I just think that, honestly, this is Song Yadong's time to shine, man. I think that he is looking and peaking at the right time, and he's still, I mean, it's crazy. He's only 24 years old, and he's at the top of this division. And I just think his striking, it looks similar to what Petr Yan did in that Corey Sandhagen fight, and he's able to find a little bit more power shots than Petr was able to find.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you. And I
did I bore you, Angelo? Were you yawning?
So tired. That was brutal.
Jesus Christ, it's not even 10 o'clock. My God.
Thank God we
cut out the alcohol.
It's water. If it was alcohol, I'd be up.
Well, I'm talking about the alcohol that's worn you down for the last 15 years, Angelo. Get your life together. Jesus Christ.
I'm working on it. Corey Sandhagen, what if I was an actual drunk and you just like ripped?
Well, I'm working on it was funny because that was the most genuine I've like, working on it. And good for you. Clap it up in the chat for Angelo getting healthy. Looking great, looking vibrant, glowing so much, on the guys. Stream today.
Thank you so much. Anyway.
What the fuck was that?
Shimmy. Corey Sandhagen, I'm only going with him. I agree with everything you said. I'm only going with Corey because of that 5-round experience. That is why. He's a very, very hard guy to put away. So Yadong's not going to light him up, put him away in the first or the second. Then we get to the third. Yadong's going to be getting tired. And guess what? There's more rounds after this. So I like Corey.
That's what I told her.
People were
That's a good one. I mean, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's decent.
But you females in the chat, you know.
People were screaming that Corey beat TJ. Some people think he somehow beat Piotr.
Well, I think he definitely beat TJ. I don't think he necessarily beat Piotr, but I think he definitely beat TJ.
And then his loss to Aljamain was a submission, which that's off the table here for sure. So, I think that 5-round experience is the difference. $9,200? No, not happening.
Oh, Sean V picked. You and Sean V hand in hand here.
Jesse's the funny one because Jesse, we love you here. You're so generous. You give us so many things. I think you've only gotten one single lock of the week correct of yours. And thank God it was D-Rod.
Why would you even put him on blast like that?
Well, but it's funny because
Jesse, I would never do you like that. I'll do you however you want me to do you, Jesse, but not like that.
He picked, I just read it. Who did you pick for this fight, Jesse? And I saw it. I was like, ooh. But thank God you got that D-Rod. So now you're back on track. You're going with
now
it.
It started a streak. I lost 4 in a row. Now 10. I told him I'm winning 17 in a row.
All right. Well,
Sean, he hasn't made his decision yet. So
we do have a super chat, $5 from John Doe. Might make VanCamp the lock this week. Let's get this money. Been killing it these past few weeks. We appreciate you, John Doe. Congratulations on
John Doe's always in here, man.
Killing it.
He's always in here supporting the stream.
Appreciate you very much. A lot of you guys are. Jakey boy, what do you think of these DraftKings prices?
I'm definitely, especially because we mentioned with what's his name, what's his name, being $9,700. You got to have a big underdog that you feel confident in. I think that's a very, very good value at $7,000 for Song Yadong.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with you. I think that even though I think Corey wins, $7,000 is not a terrible price point for sure, especially somebody that kind of power. Are you going to play 9,200? No, I'm not going to do
that. Seems heavy.
Yeah, it does seem heavy. No, it does seem heavy. Granted, it is 5 rounds, and you always want somebody in that 5-round fight to get those extra points, but I'm probably not going to spend that on Corey Sandhagen.
I mean, this could be one of those situations where they basically score the exact same points, and then whoever wins the decision is going to get the 30 points. So you might as well play the 7,000 to get the better value and hope that he can win that decision.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to spend the 9,200 for sure. Monkey Knife Ice Strike Line 125 to 84. Man, it's tricky. If you think it goes to a decision, I think it's a more because there's going to be almost no grappling exchanges. If there are any, it'll be on Corey's side, which will just help him get to the 125. And Yadong is fast, throws with some heat, so he can get past that 84. It is 5
very
rounds.
Fast.
We've never seen him in rounds 4 or 5, so we don't know if he's going to slow down. But I like the more with Monkey Knife Fight. You agree?
And actually, he lost to my lock of the week before. So there's another lock of the week. Song Yadong lost to Kyler Phillips. People think he won that fight, but he did not win that fight. So that was my lock of the week, Kyler Phillips in that fight. But what was your question? Sorry, I got distracted.
Monkey Knife Fight.
Probably more. I think this is probably... I actually took the under 4.5 on this fight because I think the Song is able to find the chin early. It was plus money, so that's why I like the value on that. But it's probably going to 5 rounds. They're probably going to get after it, and this is probably a high strike line.
Yeah, I agree. It is probably more, and all you need to do is go to wewantpicks.com/MKF. When you sign up, they will instantly match your deposit. Take the free money, play some of these lines. I like the more on the main event. And don't forget, become a premium member. I know we push it hard, but we've got almost 1,000 members, and every single one of them is getting incredible value. We're never going to touch this price point. We're only going to add features and functions.
Sean V is like always just clueless as far as lock weeks. 10 in a row incoming. We've already hit 10 in a row, Sean. You're always a week behind. Grow up.
Okay, a mid promo.
I don't give a fuck.
WeWantPicks.com. At the top, click become a member. All of our bets, all of our picks, raw notes, a DraftKings optimizer, DraftKings player ranking, prize picks early. Prize picks move, so those are solid to get early. We have an odds calculator, a parlay calculator, and if you log in now, you can vote on what feature you want next. We're adding all of it. We're never touching the price point. WeWantPicks.com. At the top, click become a member. What, Jacob?
Someone says split decision prop is probably live. That might be worth a sprinkle, honestly. This could be a weird war split decision. Draw is plus 6,600. What's a split decision normally? I don't think they have those on Bet Online.
I think they do. I'll have to look closer because I think they have unanimous, split, whatever.
Well, I'm looking at it right now and they don't. So.
Okay. Well, this fucking asshole. If you want 50 free bucks.
Oh, now we got to extend this because you can't.
There we go. If we want 50 free bucks, go to
and then I
picks.
unmute myself.
I did it.
Let me see if I can unmute myself. Mute me.
You can. I think we've already figured this out. You're muted.
Right now, and
there it is. Yeah. So WeWantPicks.com/bets. Sign up, make a deposit. We'll send you $50. Thanks for the watch. Like, subscribe,
like
do all
the
the
stream.
Things. We appreciate you, and
follow
we'll see
my Twitter. Single women.
We'll see you on Friday for the rest of our content.